competed in this year. At times, Jeff seemed to have the right combination of skill and luck that carried him through tight situations and into victory lane 10 times. But as was the case in his first championship season of '95, the late races had brought him to the brink of disaster.
If I had a choice where I want to be, this is where I'd want to be. And I like pressure, you know, and it's not something that I want every day, but in pressure situations, me and this team have been able to step up to the plate.
This man has accumulated one of the most impressive records in NASCAR, but has always fallen just short of the mark.
I think that our race team does an awesome job. It seems like when the year's over, there's always been someone who's done a better job than us. So maybe it'll happen this year, maybe next year.
My frozen spirit aches. I slept another day. Start to lose my grip and find another way for the life I might escape. Has been echoing for years. It grinds me to a bone. Grind me in the gear.
We started at the foot of the mountain with the first race at Daytona. Now we're near the top with our 32nd race, and the championship is at the top of that mountain. We're almost there.
I am waiting for the next big thing. I'm scared of all that's behind me. All my faith is in the next big thing. It's where I hide what you don't see. The next big thing, life can be said.
Does Dale Jarrett stare at destiny? Will Martin finally hit his mark? Or does Jeff Gordon stand at the threshold of infamy? The next big thing is to strap into the cars and start this 500-mile journey, which will crown the champion for the 1997 season. And ESPN Speed World, the world leader in motorsports coverage, welcomes you live to the season finale. It's the Napa 500 from the completely new Atlanta Motor Speedway, located about 30 miles south of Atlanta in Hampton, Georgia. And it is an unbelievable day. The sun is shining, but it is very, very cool here at this racetrack as we get set for 325 laps of competition, 500 miles, and determine finally after 10 months who is the champion for 97. Here's Dr. Jerry Punch.
1 month ago, capturing the Winston Cup title seemed like a no-brainer for Jeff Gordon, but after a series of near misses and misfortune yesterday, today it may be a no-breather. A task that once seemed simple, finish 18th or better, now looms large. Starting 37th, it's hold your breath time for the Rainbow Warriors because Jeff Gordon has a long way to go and 500 miles to get there.
40-year-old Dale Jarrett is a good driver with some big wins. Wins tell people how good you are, but championships remind them how great you were. Just ask DJ. He's got a very close relative that's won a couple of them. Today, Dale Jarrett is 77 points from Jeff Gordon and 78 points from greatness.
Martin wants to win the Winston Cup so bad it hurts. In fact, yesterday afternoon, during a brief practice period, Mark says his wrists ache because of the force exerted on him and his car. But he says he knows in his heart nobody has a better car here. And he thinks he can win this race. If he does, Mark Martin may walk out of here the champion. Now, let's go upstairs to our championship crew, Ned Jarrett, Benny Parsons, and Bob Jenkins.
Thank
Thank you, John. Well, Benny, just a split second of a mental breakdown yesterday morning has changed the complete complexion of this race today.
Over the years, as we watched Ray Evernham and the Rainbow Warriors and Jeff Gordon dressed up in his uniform, we think that Jeff has a big S on his chest, that he's Superman. Yesterday morning, we found out that Jeff Gordon is really human, just like the rest of us. He made a mistake as he's leaving the pits, scrubbing the tires. He probably was thinking about what the car was going to do on that run. That instant that he lost concentration, he spins into Bobby Hamilton's car, ruining his primary car, having to go to backup car. And then in qualifying, a bad qualifying run net, he will start 37th. It's uphill from there.
But sometimes adversity brings out the best in people, and certainly we've seen a number of times this year that Jeff Gordon and that Rainbow Warrior crew have come back from adversity. They're not very good at running slow and at stroking. They know now that the task is to go out there and run hard every lap. They have to from where they're starting.
The cars have been started and the drivers are alone in them as they get set for this competition here this afternoon. The racetrack has 131,000 permanent seats, 8,000 temporary seats, and there are about 11,000 more in the suites and in the infield, bringing the total here to 150,000. $30 million of improvements here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. And boy, what a story we have as we get set for the green flag.
It really is amazing. Who would have thought Jeff Gordon would be starting 37th? But just the way things unfolded, there he is back there a long way to the front on a very difficult race, what has become a very difficult racetrack.
Let's take a look at the Napa starting lineup with the inside line to the right of your screen. The pole sitter, the second pole of 1997 for Jeff Bodine, over 197 miles an hour. Ward Burton was on the front wheel with Jeff at 94 at Pocono. In the second row, 77 points behind Dale Jarrett, and alongside him, last year's champion celebrating his 44th birthday today, Terry Labonte. Row number 3 will have Joe Nemechek and Dale Earnhardt, whose winless streak is at 58. The fourth row, Jeff Green in car number 29, and rookie Kenny Irwin Jr. in his third start. And in the fifth row, the man who is third in points coming in with a shot at the title, Mark Martin, and alongside him, the home state favorite, Bill Elliott. As we take a look at the rest of the starting lineup, Ned, we can't overemphasize the different shape and everything different about the track that they're going to be racing on today.
Well, it's totally different. It's a little bit longer, but that's not the biggest challenge that they have. It's new pavement, which has made it very, very fast, and also a quad oval here on the front straightaway. The front is now the back, and the back now the front from what it was when they were here back in March. So it is going to be quite a challenge for them.
And Benny, the buzzword all weekend has been tires.
When they reconfigured the racetrack, Bob and folks, they completely repaved the racetrack, and that pavement is giving these drivers a tremendous grip. As we see back in row 12, the car is still running over 192 miles per hour. The concern is how long will the tires last? Will that grip stay there for an entire run? If it does, the tires probably will not last more than 30, 40 laps.
And Ned, they may be making more pit stops, and that just gives more possibility of errors on pit road.
Well, it really does, Bob, and I don't think there's any question for we'll see more pit stops here today than normal because of the tire wear that they're getting on this new surface, and that does put a premium on the guys in the pit. They're always under a lot of pressure, but they're going to be under even more pressure here today to get those cars in and out.
There is Jeff Gordon back in 37th position. And we take a look now at those who made the lineup due to provisionals. We have not seen the sun all the time since we've been here. It's been cloudy and rainy, and so that also factors into this, and it's also very chilly here this afternoon.
It is very chilly. We see Darrell Waltrip back to provisionals as the cars start to roll down pit road. How exciting is this?
It's pretty awesome, I'll tell you. All the cars now begin to move down pit road, and they'll take a couple of warm-up laps. They stayed a little bit longer on pit road because it is so cold. They want to make sure that the oil temperature is up, and now they'll want to get the heat of the tires up before we go green. We talked about how there are 3 drivers that can win the title here this afternoon. We should also mention that 21 out of the top 25 in points can also advance, and so there are a lot of things at stake here for a lot of drivers. Our Our spotlight today will focus on Dale Jarrett, second in points, and Todd Parrott, his crew chief. Their radio communication and their strategies will be on ESPN throughout the season finale here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. And we will be back to green flag the Napa 500 and to see who the champion is for 97 in just a moment.
NASCAR racing on TSN is brought to you by Midas for new, longer-lasting carbon metallic brake pads. By Budweiser for all you do, this Bud's for you. By Chrysler 5-Star Service, the one name that knows your Chrysler vehicle best. Great people, great service. By Bumper to Bumper, the auto parts professionals. And by Monroe Shocks and Struts, making the road a safer place.
Penalties, blown coverages. How can you expect to win the game with turnovers, huh? Look at me when I'm talking to you! Look at me!
You see this ring? This is our ring. Don't you ever let anybody take it from us.
You could win a trip to the Super Bowl. Look inside cases of Bud or call this number for no purchase entry.
Mopar Performance Parts. If they work this well on the track, just imagine what they'll do for you on the road. Mopar Performance Parts, available from your Chrysler Canada dealer.
Whether you're the type that prefers to put yourself in the hands of the professionals, or you're the hands-on type that likes to roll up your sleeves, you can count on Bumper to Bumper for all your car and truck needs.
Merry Christmas, baby. Should it treat me nice?
Hi, sweetie. How's LA? Yeah, they do that there. Yeah, the place is looking fine. Pretty empty, though. Any chance you could hop on a plane? Be here for Christmas? Yeah. Yeah, I miss you, too. There's someone at the door.
Improvements have been made. The front stretch is now the back stretch, and the track has been reconfigured. It is now the fastest racetrack on which the NASCAR Winston Cup drivers compete, with the speed of 197 miles an hour for the pole sitter, Jeff Bodine.
Be right along with Ricky Craven today as he starts back in 41st spot. Also, Michael Waltrip, the Citgo Ford. Michael starts 35th today.
Also carrying an onboard camera today will be Ted Musgrave, who starts back in 34th position. Here's Rusty Wallace. We'll be riding along with him. He starts 33rd.
Also, Mike Skinner will have an onboard camera today as we watch his progress, starting back in 28th spot. Bill Elliott, the McDonald's Ford. He was started 10th today. And here are the guys in front. Mark Martin, the Valvoline Ford. He will start 9th today as he tries to win his very first championship. And starting 3rd on the inside of the second row, Dale Jarrett, the Ford Quality Care onboard camera. Can he do it? It's 77 points behind.
And what about Jeff Gordon, who is back in the 37th position, his worst start of the year and his second worst start of his NASCAR Winston Cup career. And there is the guy that will help guide him through the traffic and possibly to a championship, Ray Evernham. As we said, 21 of the top 25 can advance their position. And of course, each position means a little bit more bonus money. 10 through 14 separated by only 84 points, and 25 through 26 separated by only 20 points. And the championship contenders, of course, have a total of 87 points among them, the top three. Okay, we're set to go as the 43-car field now is over in turns 3 and 4, being led by the pace car. 325 laps of competition here this afternoon, 500 miles. Who will it be? Right now, Jeff Gordon is outside the championship window as we begin the last race of the 1997 NASCAR Winston Cup season, the Napa 500. Leads lap number 1 with Ward Burton right behind.
Dale Jarrett started on the inside, has lost a couple of spots. The inside is definitely not the place to be right now.
Meanwhile, Jeff Gordon tries to move up. That's Michael Waltrip running right ahead of him as he enters turn number 3. Back here in the quad oval area of the racetrack, that's the separation between first and second. Dale Earnhardt catching up in the third position, and Joe Nemechek is fourth. A lot of traffic, though, ahead of Jeff Gordon still.
Jeff Gordon has picked up 1 spot. He is now 36th. And here he goes by Michael Waltrip. That's another 3 points. He just picked up. Almost picked up. Michael Waltrip does fight back on the outside.
Of course, they ran the ARCA race here yesterday and established somewhat of a groove up on the top side, but it'll probably be a few more laps before we see that top line come in real well. Now Jeff Gordon is behind Wally Dallenbach. And Jeff Burton may have a problem as he is dropping back. John Kernan.
Bob, you could hear the problem as he came down by pit road. Car sounds like it's running on 7 cylinders. I talked to the crew and they said, yep, the motor is skipping. So a problem for Jeff Burton. He's going to try and hang on because remember, at 25 laps, we should have the caution as Ward Burton peaks for the lead. Jeff's brother on the inside of Jeff Bodine. And hopefully it's just a plug wires off. They can fix that. Hold on to the lead lap the first 25 laps.
Ward Burton has gone into the lead, but look who's charging toward the front of the field. It's Dale Earnhardt trying to break that 58-race losing streak.
We watch Earnhardt as he tries to get by Jeff Bodine from our Pennzoil chopper high above the Atlanta Motor Speedway. And he has position going down to 1. He will take that spot away. Put Earnhardt in the 2nd spot.
Well, his car looks strong. It's able right now, but it needs to stay right down on the bottom of the racetrack, and that's where they figured they needed to run in the early stages of this race, at least.
Dale Jarrett in car number 88 is running in 6th position. Last year's champion, Terry Labonte, is right behind him.
Jeff Gordon, meanwhile, has moved up to 32nd spot. Martin just 3 positions behind Dale Jarrett in 9th spot. Jeff Gordon.
A lot of racetrack and a lot of cars, Benny, between those running up front and Jeff Gordon.
Trying to get by Chad Little, the 97 car.
But he's being very patient, Ned, just picking him off when he can.
Yeah, that's what it needs to be, knowing that there's going to be a caution at 25 laps. Unless something bad goes wrong, he's not going to get lapped, but each position he can pick off will be that much, but he needs to do it carefully.
There goes Joe Nemechek to the inside of Jeff Bodine as Joe goes to 3rd position. And a good run all weekend so far for Joe Nemechek. But up front, the front 2 cars have kind of broken away. Ward Burton leading things with Earnhardt right behind him.
And Ward Burton, in his interviews yesterday, seemed to be very, very confident. He kept saying over and over, we can win this race.
He's got a fast race car. And he don't mind driving it down into these corners. You have to drive aggressive here and drive it hard down into these corners at a very high speed, but he don't mind doing that.
It's interesting to note that the last time that Jeff Gordon picks up another position as he passes Chad Little there to the inside on the backstretch.
And Chad, of course, going to lose a couple of other positions as well when that hole opens up. Others come through.
And there is the next group of cars that Jeff will be catching up to attempt to pass. John Andretti is at the tail end of that next group. Also, there is Rusty Wallace.
Martin making a move and just getting around Kenny Irwin. Now he's right on the back bumper of Dale Jarrett.
And so 2 of the 3 championship contenders here in the early going are running together, and look at Dale Earnhardt easily taking the lead from Ward Burton going into turn 1. Boy, it's been a long time since Dale Earnhardt visited Victory Lane, and you know that his thoughts are everybody's going to be watching the championship. I'm just going to go out there and win this thing, and he's looking very, very good here in the early going of the Napa 500. Earnhardt is your leader, Ward Burton second. We'll be back with more of our live coverage from here at Atlanta Motor Speedway in a moment.
Is brought to you by the Nabob Coffee Company. At Nabob, we get better beans, you get better coffee.
Hi, everybody. Brendan Connor in the TSN newsroom, ready to bring you up to date on some other stuff going on in the world of sport, like the final round of the ATP Tennis Championship in Germany. That took place earlier this morning. Sampras and Kafelnikov in the final. Let's take a look at some of the action. Pete Sampras turns it on big time early on in the first set, lunging backhand. And Kafelnikov puts it into the net and upset at losing the first set 6-3. Second set, Sampras to the net again for the drop. Kafelnikov makes the get, but Sampras puts it away. The overhead takes a second set 6-2. Match point now. Sampras overpowering Kafelnikov with the ace, winning the ATP 6-3, 6-2, and 6-2. And during this weekend, before the final, actually, Sampras was named one of the best players in the last 25 years by a jury of tennis people.
You've never seen anything like it, and it's headed for Canadian Tire. More selection, more parts for more makes and models of cars and light trucks, more quality brand names like Certified Brakes, Monroe Shocks, and TRW suspension parts. So now, you'll get the right parts when you need them at guaranteed low prices. Canadian Tire, Canada's auto parts store, made better.
I'm sure I've seen your face before, my friend. I stand here taken by your strength. Come on through.
What drives the power of an idea? In this case, 200 horsepower.
From high overhead Atlanta Motor Speedway, you're watching the action from the Pennzoil Copter Cam, which will have the aerials all afternoon here in Atlanta. And we're watching the first 2 positions, Dale Earnhardt and Ward Burton. And Earnhardt now beginning to lap some of the slower traffic. Meanwhile, let's go check on our championship contenders here. The number 6 car of Mark Martin is running in 6th position at the moment. He's about 5.5, maybe a little more than 6 seconds behind the leader now. Meanwhile, the 88 car of Dale Jarrett has dropped back to 10th position, and he's about 8 seconds behind the leader. So maybe the handling not right on the Quality Care Ford.
And Jeff Gordon has moved from 37 starting spot up to 26 the last lap by. We see he's been able to get by Rusty Wallace. As a matter of fact, that will move him into 25th. We talked about that he was not in the point paying position. Right now, he would be the champion if the race ended, but it's not going to, thank goodness.
They're only going to award points when the checkered flag drops, so it's certainly not near that point yet, but Jeff Gordon has picked up enough positions now that the championship would go to him if points were awarded right now. But still a lot of activity to watch here this afternoon. There is the pylon showing you the top 10. Let's go down to John Kernan.
Bob just a few laps ago, Jeff Gordon radioed in and told his crew chief, Ray Evernham, that the car was just a little bit tight off of turn 2. Now, what they've been telling Jeff is, Jeff, it's a long afternoon, a lot of positions to make up, but you got 500 miles and 3 hours in which to do it. But the car looks pretty good now, except just a little bit tight coming off of turn 2. They're going to make an air pressure adjustment, it looks like, for this first round of pit stops, which should be coming up shortly.
While you watch Jeff Gordon there, we noticed that Ward Burton flexed his muscle once again and took the lead from Dale Earnhardt.
There we see Ward Burton, the MB&A Pontiac, in front, and the Goodrich Chevrolet of Earnhardt's following him.
Well, we know how fast they qualified at, 197 plus miles an hour for Jeff Bodine, but let's check on how they are running here during race conditions. Well, it's considerably slower.
And that's expected of almost any racetrack. They run slower, except maybe Daytona and Talladega, where they do a lot of drafting. And they do some drafting here, but not to the point that it would pick up speed. They spend a lot of time in the corners here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway, and that scrubs off speed.
See, Ernie Irvin has a good lap, 186.4 back there. And Jeff Gordon ran just 184 that time by. Now Earnhardt closes up once again on the back bumper of Ward Burton.
The best battle on the racetrack once again becomes for the lead as they approach slower traffic. By the way, Jeff Burton has been lapped, and he has the most lead lap finishes this year. 24 times during the year he's finished on the lead lap. There's the shot from the Citgo Ford driven by Michael Waltrip looking back to Bobby Hamilton. And don't forget, he's in a backup car also because his was ruined when Gordon and Hamilton collided on pit road yesterday morning.
Both those cars trying to close in on Rusty Wallace. We see that Bobby started 40th spot up to 28. I think his car was the fastest car in happy hour. The abbreviated happy hour we had yesterday afternoon, the SDP Pontiac was the fastest.
Yeah, we didn't have much practice because of rain, only, well, less than 20 minutes worth, so you really didn't get an indication of who was going to be fast during happy hour yesterday, but Bobby Hamilton did have the fastest in the few laps that they turned. This is 27th. Michael Waltrip looking back on the 28th position car of Bobby Hamilton, who is in his last drive here this afternoon for the Richard Petty team.
As we see our pylon, you see that Mark Martin has moved into fifth spot.
Meanwhile, the leaders have come up on some traffic. Ward Burton going to the inside of Rick Mast, and Dale Earnhardt elects the outside line. We may have a change of position here. No, think Ward is going to hold off. But boy, Earnhardt is mounting a major challenge on the high road.
Hey, that's a pretty bold move coming in there, running that fast into that second lane. Don't know if it'll work or not, but it's working for him there right now. I believe he's going to make it work.
Jerry Punch has more on the run of Dale Earnhardt.
Well, the good news for Earnhardt fans is that Earnhardt is a factor and has already led here in the early laps. The even better news is Larry McReynolds tells me that they're not even about to begin to push the race car of what it has. They are not even pushing the car right now. They said they are going to hold off. Why even worry about building a lead with that caution coming out in a few laps per time?
And that's one reason that Lake Speed is trying to stay out there, because the caution flag will come out if he can do it, and the caution flag gives out. And Lake Speed just almost hung on, but now he is, in fact, a lap down in the 9 car.
This is a mandatory caution. There's nothing wrong on the racetrack. It's just that NASCAR said yesterday, because of the lack of laps that the drivers had and because of the question mark regarding the tires, they would throw the caution at lap 25, and that is exactly what is happening right now. You see a pretty stiff breeze is blowing here. It's blowing down the backstretch.
And that's good. That's good, because that is the shortest straightaway. That will slow the cars down just a little bit, maybe a couple of miles per hour average on the whole lap. If it's blowing the other way, it probably would speed the cars up a couple of miles per hour.
Now the drivers will slow down and go into their respective pits, and the crews will check the tire wear.
They'll change those tires and check the tires after they come off of the cars, and just see what kind of temperature is building up in the tires, how much wear there is. They can learn a lot from this stuff.
Of course, a lot of drivers did a lot of tire scuffing yesterday after the qualifying session as they scrubbed in several sets of tires just to take the slick part off of the sticker tires. And now those on the lead lap come down pit road. 45 miles an hour is the pit road speed limit. Those who have already lost a lap are still out on the racetrack, but those on the lead lap are now coming down for the service. Let's go to John Kernan.
Jeff Gordon just entering his pit stall, 4-tire change. We expect him, yes, they will make a wedge adjustment in the right rear. They've also made a tire pressure adjustment. The car was just a little bit loose. Let's go down to Bill Weber.
Mark Martin took just 2 right-side tires. They're 4-lap scuffs. He's already back on the track. Dr. Punch.
They're going to go up 2 pounds of air pressure the right side for Dale Jarrett, up 1 pound the left side. But what, and now DJ Saul's it, he's leaving. But what Dale Jarrett said when the race began was, he said, Todd, the car will just not run off the corner. Let's go back to John Turner.
After the 4-tire change was made on Jeff Gordon's car, Morgan Shepherd's car, which is pitted directly in front of him, had Jeff blocked in the pits. Gordon had to back up so he could clear the number 1 car. Now Ray Evernham going over to talk to that team saying, come on, be a little more considerate, because Morgan, the right rear of the car, was sticking out of the box, had Jeff blocked in. He had to back up, finally got on his way, but he lost about 2 spots right there.
Watch this. We see him finish and see the guy pointing. Look, the car's in front. The guy, the catch can fellow, was pointing and said, look, we've got to push the car backwards because Morgan Shepherd is in front of us.
Mark Martin just took on 2 tires. The strategy there is to try to get out on lead and get 5 bonus points. Right, Bill Weber?
Exactly right, Ned. And I just talked to Steve Meal. He said Mark drives good. The car handles well. They have not gotten any left side wear. They wanted to take a chance. They want to win the race. They want a shot at the championship. There's their first hand.
So the mandatory pit stop has been made by those running up front. We'll take a break before we get back to green here in Atlanta.
I never thought anybody would steal my car. My dad always said, use the club, but my car is older, so I thought it was safe. Wouldn't you know it? One morning, I look outside and it's gone, stolen. My dad called the police. A few days later, we get a call from the police. They said they'd found my car. When I went to claim it, the thief had put a club on it so it wouldn't get stolen again. Well, it won't get stolen again. Now that I have it back, I'm using the club. I guess I should have listened to Dad. Sherry Lovell, New York.
Hey, bubblegum blowers. It's extra classic bubblegum. Everybody's doing it. Everybody's chewing it. It's the bubblegum flavor that never quits. Flavor for you, Daddy-O. Flavor for the friends you know. Whether it's all-night homework bubbles or waiting at the bus stop bubbles. It's the classic bubblegum flavor that never quits. Hanging at the dance hall or waiting at the shopping mall. Try extra classic bubblegum. Why? Because it's the classic bubblegum flavor that never quits.
Hey, dream boy, I'm gonna spend my life with you. Hey, dream girl, I made a promise to be true. Together forever, 'cause 1 and 1 makes 2.
What happens when 2 Grand Am drivers get married? Pontiac Grand Am, built for drivers.
The dream is always the same. I'm in the mall. I'm looking for my girlfriend. So I head for Thrifty's. Maybe she's there.
Go ahead, try them on.
Hey, it's a dream, so I go with it.
Over here.
She says,
No, over here. Are you gonna try those on?
like I said, it's a dream, so I go with it.
My baby, she's oh so cool.
Whoa.
What's going on? I told these guys that whoever can do a triple axel gets a Canadian Olympic watch from McDonald's. That was amazing. There you go.
Great. Now I got all 4. Get your limited edition Canadian Olympic watches from McDonald's for just $7.99 each.
race, he has picked up 5 bonus points, and that is very, very valuable to him. Meanwhile, Jeff Gordon, who told us on NASCAR today that he's going to have to pick up spots on the racetrack and in the pit area, lost 3 positions during that pit stop. So if we were to award points right now, and we're only doing this to just show you exactly who's running where and who has the advantage right now, Mark Martin would move up 2 positions and have a 14-point lead on Jeff Gordon. Jarrett falling to 3rd in the points. Earnhardt moving up 1 over Jeff Burton. John Kernan.
Well, of course, the big story, everybody concerned with the tire wear down in Jeff Gordon's pit. The Goodyear engineers telling me from what they can see, just based upon Jeff Gordon and his setup as it is right now, they're looking at 40 to 45 laps. And Ray Evernham said, hey, Jeff, we may have lost some positions by being blocked in there, but we will get them back.
This is the right rear tire that came off of Bill Elliott's car. Now, you're starting to see some areas where this tire may start to come apart. The concern here was that it wasn't really tire wear as much as possibly the right rear tire was going down. Bill on radio 2 laps before the caution flag had said the car is getting loose. But the good news down here, Tony Freund, the group leader and engineer for Goodyear, has checked the tires on both of the lead cars, Ward Burton and Dale Earnhardt, and told both crew chiefs they could go twice as far, 45 to 50 laps comfortably without a concern about the right rear. The right rear was the main concern here today. Let's check in with Bill Weber.
Jerry, I've got the right front tire off Jeff Green's car, and you can see here the cords are beginning to show through. A little bit of a blister. They took a razor blade here to cut this section so they'd have a better idea of just how much tread was left. Wes Ward, their crew chief, told me 10 more laps, and that was all they could run on this tire. They've made a chassis adjustment to try and help that. Just next door, Mark Martin's right side tires have worn the same as they have all week. They're happy with that. They think they can go 35 more laps before they'd have to change their left side tires.
And Todd Parrott closely examining the tire wear that Dale Jarrett got there in the first 25 laps of the race.
There's no doubt that tire wear is going to be the driver keeping those tires on them. That's going to decide who's going to win this race this afternoon. No doubt about that.
And the tire wear will get better as the race goes on.
Now they're lining up 2 by 2 now. The slower cars to the inside, lap cars to the inside. So we are ready to go racing here in Atlanta once again. 31 laps have been completed. The leader is Mark Martin. Dale Earnhardt is second. Joe Nemechek is...
Okay, the pace car's in. Get ready. Go, 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 go.
Jeff Gordon dives to the inside of Gary Bradbury in the Haynes car. Gets one of those positions back. As we see the group of cars up front battling for the lead.
Steve Grissom to the inside of Nemechek there, but getting back in line. Steve is a lap down. Nemechek has got a good car, doesn't he?
Well, he sure does. He's moved into 3rd spot. There goes Steve Grissom. Comes Ward Burton. As you said, Grissom, the 41 car, is a lap down. Here's the 2 leaders. The 6 car is the leader, and he just says, okay, Dale, I've led my lap. Go ahead.
He has accomplished what he set out to do. At least one of the goals has been reached for Mark Martin. That's picking up the 5 bonus points for leading a lap. Drops back to second now behind Dale Earnhardt. And Joe Nemechek is going to put Mark Martin back to 3rd.
Mark's not going to fight either. Like you say, he has accomplished what he needed to do at this point of the race. So he just sit there and ride comfortably for a little while. And it could be that those newer left side tires is helping others to run a little bit faster.
Showing you a field summary where everybody is running at the present time, and the numbers in parentheses indicate the starting position of that particular car. Dale Jarrett is in heavy traffic traffic and is losing positions. He's kind of hung out on the outside, but as we talked about earlier, the car just doesn't seem to be handling quite right.
Well, it's not coming off the corners, as Jared Punch pointed out, that it's just not getting up off the corners, whether that's chassis or engine or gearing or what the situation is. But I've noticed it out there, it just simply won't accelerate up off these turns.
Bobby Labonte in that green number 18 car just went to the inside and passed Dale. Of course, Bobby was the winner of the race here last year, while his brother Terry went on to win the championship. Riding with Ted Musgrave. He's right behind Dale Jarrett to the inside of Lake Speed. Lake is one of 7 cars that have already lost a lap.
Ted Musgrave has come from way back. He started, what, 34th position, and now he's up there in the 13th position. So he made a good move on that pit stop.
Looks like that at the moment, everybody is just being very cautious out there, just settling in, seeing how the car is going to run, and taking their time right now.
But when an opportunity comes, they're going to pass, as Johnny Benson tried to move around the car number 33 of Ken Schrader.
This is Jeff Gordon behind Bill Elliott. The onboard camera, we have an Elliott's car today, and we've got a heavy crash. Jeff Bodine is involved in this crash.
Brett Bodine.
I'm sorry, Brett Bodine.
And Buckshot Jones, the rookie, who is making his first NASCAR Winston Cup start here this afternoon, and that Aquafresh car is badly damaged. Brett Bodine was on pit road 3 or 4 times during the mandatory caution, so as maybe to indicate there was something wrong with the car. It is badly damaged along with Buckshot's right now.
This is coming off turn 2 here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. We see Brett is climbing out of his car,
coming over to see if Buckshot is okay.
Safety workers are there beside Buckshot also. And let's take a look at a replay and find out what happened. Wow, man. Very hard hit for Buckshot Jones. And Brett Bodine's car also is damaged beyond repair. We'll take a break and be back with more of the Napa 500.
You know, there's a remarkable new tool right now at Canadian Tire that makes a lot of existing tools seem outdated. I'm talking about RoboGrip pliers from Mastercraft. You see, RoboGrip's special design allows it to self-adjust to most any size job with a simple squeeze of the handles.
That's right. No screws or levers to set. Just squeeze and turn. Plus, it's spring-loaded for one-handed operation, not like these regular pliers.
And it comes in 2 sizes, so it's perfect for most any job. Rounded nuts, pipes, flat surfaces, irregular shaped objects. And its offset head allows for easy access to those tight spots.
And RoboGrip's laminated jaw construction makes it so strong, it comes with a lifetime warranty.
The new self-adjusting Mastercraft RoboGrip is so versatile, you'll find it indispensable in your house, your garage, even in the garden. So don't wait. Get your RoboGrip pliers today. Available exclusively at Canadian Tire.
Penalties, blown coverages. How can you expect to win the game with turnovers, huh? Look at me when I'm talking to you! Look at me!
You see this ring? This is our ring. Don't you ever let anybody take it from us.
You could win a trip to the Super Bowl. Look inside cases of Bud or call this number for no purchase entry.
You have it, or you don't. Large screen TVs. Who's the brightest of them all? Hitachi Ultravision. The world's brightest picture. Hitachi's exclusive new super bright lens technology. Magic focus that brings colors together. Exclusive Hitachi technology. Trust what you see. Ultravision has it. You got the picture, kid. Or is it the picture? Or is it Hitachi Ultravision?
The StarTAC cellular phone from Motorola.
Hello.
You're kidding. You're kidding. Susan, guess what?
You're kidding.
My bag and my clothes.
StarTAC. Good things happen because it's always with you.
Who'd you get to replace the no-show? Just this guy. Any good?
Motorola, what you never thought possible.
Caution is out for the second time here at Atlanta Motor Speedway, this time because of a crash involving Brett Bodine and Buckshot Jones. All three championship contenders got through it okay. Here's what happened again.
Right up in the middle of the corner, there we see, I don't know, it looks like maybe there was some contact between Buckshot and Brett Bodine that spun Brett, and Buckshot just kind of had no place to go.
Buckshot Jones, a 27-year-old driver from Tucker, Georgia, so another home state favorite, but that Aquafresh car is severely damaged. He, however, is okay. He walked away from the crash into the ambulance. Jeff Gordon and the other two contenders made it through okay. Jeff right now is in 20th position. Mark Martin is in 3rd spot, and Dale Jarrett now being shown in 12th. There is the Dale Jarrett crew huddled around, working on some more race strategy, I would imagine. Steve Meal, meanwhile, surveying the situation also, and Ray Evernham from Jeff Gordon's crew. Jerry Punch.
Well, you saw Todd Parrott a moment ago. That's Steve Allen, who tunes the engines here in this Robert Yates Quality Care Ford, talking to him. Now, Todd's looking at tires, but what Steve's concerned about is what DJ said at the opening of the race. The car will just not run coming off the corner. They're trying to decide what the problem is. They changed the ignition box on that caution flag on lap 25, and it didn't help it whatsoever. What they think might have happened is this. They made a gear change this morning. They may have gone a little too tall in the gear. Now, how can they fix it? Well, they're thinking about maybe coming down pit road the next caution and trying to advance the timing by hand, do it very, very quickly to advance the timing, try to get the car to come off the corner. But however, if you advance it too much, Ned, you know what can happen.
Yeah, you can burn a piston in a hurry and you'll be out of the race. That's for sure.
Well, 43 laps have been completed here at Atlanta. Dale Earnhardt is the leader of the race. Joe Nemechek running in 2nd, and Mark Martin is 3rd. We'll take a break and be back with more.
Penalties, blown coverages. How can you expect to win the game with turnovers, huh? Look at me when I'm talking to you! Look at me!
You see this ring? This is our ring. Don't you ever let anybody take it from us.
You could win a trip to the Super Bowl. Look inside cases of Bud or call this number for no purchase entry.
When you need a sealant that's got to stick, Mono Ultra does the trick. Mono Ultra. When it calls for the best, the choice is clear. There won't be anything like it for years. Mono Ultra. It works in the sun. It works in your shower. You wash it with water and make it an hour. Exterior sealing's a whole new drill with Mono Ultra. It cures fast, it won't shrink or crack, and it's completely paintable. Mono Ultra. Get the Mono.
We made the first battery to start the automobile, the first to handle the moon's sub-zero temperatures, and today the extreme demands of professional racing. Now, Exide's put all this experience into a battery so advanced it's the official battery of NASCAR. Introducing the Exide NASCAR Select. It's specially designed and built to combat vibration and extreme temperature. So it's built to survive those grueling trips you'll be taking. The Exide NASCAR Select, making history again.
Still under caution here at Atlanta Motor Speedway, where we will crown the 1997 NASCAR Winston Cup champion later today, and then on Friday, December 5th, from the main ballroom of the Waldorf Astoria in Midtown Manhattan, ESPN will have the live coverage of the NASCAR Winston Cup Awards Banquet, where we'll pass out all that money.
That's the most important thing. That's when they get the money.
Always one of the funnest things that we do during the year because everybody's in a good mood, and we're looking forward to that on Friday, December the 5th.
And it really is incredible, the money that they pass out. They say, here's the guy who finishes 10th and his check for $150,000. And they go down to the guy that wins, and they say, here's his check for $1,700,000 or some outrageous sum.
Down to Jerry Punch.
Let's shed some more light on the situation with Dale Jarrett. Steve Allen is the engine tuner and engine builder with Robert Yates and this team in particular. Steve, explain what happened with the gear change.
Well, yesterday afternoon we had the same gear ratio in that we won with in the spring, and it seemed adequate enough, but we thought for the tire wear and whatnot, we would take a little gear out and go to a taller ratio. Missed it big time. So I'm going to try to compensate here a little bit with try to put a little time in it, maybe 1 degree. Got to be careful with that. I could burn it up, but got to do something to help him.
Now, you're not going to have time to hook the timing light up, so you got to eyeball 1 degree. Can you get it that close?
Oh, yeah. Been doing it a long time. I can do it. I just hope it helps it.
All right, Steve Allen's going to put 1 degree. He told me if he goes a little over 1 degree, puts 2 degrees in, it'll burn it slap up, to quote him.
And then he's confident he can do it in 1 degree, huh? Man.
Tell you what, those Richmond County, North Carolina boys, evidently they learned something down there. That is 1 degree. Wow.
That is incredible. Dale Jarrett will begin here from 12th position as we get ready to go back to racing. Well, Jeff Gordon now runs in 20th position, and he's only 2 positions from assuring himself of a championship regardless of what the other 2 contenders do. And if points were awarded right now, Jeff would be the champion. Bill?
Well, Brett Bodine's misfortune may end up helping Mark Martin's cause. Brett Bodine runs a Roush engine, so when Brett crashed, the 6 bunch sent a tire changer down, a runner down to check on Brett's tires. What he did is he brought back to the 6 pit 4 sets of scuffs. What the 6 team will now do is check the codes on those 4 sets against the codes on the tires they have. Brett may have had a set that matches up better, which could handle better on Mark's car. So that perhaps could help Mark Martin in the later runs of this race.
A little bit of sharing and working together being evident already here in this race. They turn back on the caution lights, so it's going to be 1 more lap before we go back to green flag racing. You can see a safety vehicle on the apron of the track over there in turn number 2. And again, we would like to say that both Brett Bodine and Buckshot Jones were not injured in that crash over there in turn 2. All right, let's show you the top 15 at the moment with Dale Earnhardt showing the way.
And we see the Bobby Labonte started back in 21st, is up to 9th spot. Derek Cope started 14th up to 7th. Ted Musgrave started 34th up to 13th. John Kernan told us he only changed 2 tires on that pit stop. Here's 16 through 30.
You notice that Jeff Gordon has moved up to 20th position from his starting spot of 37th, and the remainder of the field now, as the 2 cars that just crashed are at the bottom of the list. All right, ready to go back to green flag racing here on lap number 48.
Check. Goes to the front, tries on the inside of Earnhardt, takes the lead away. He must have liked that victory down at Homestead last week.
Well, he had a strong car down there last week. Emotional win, winning the final NASCAR Busch Series race of the season.
Joe apparently has something to prove here this afternoon, because just like a rocket ship off of corner number 2, we got a run on Dale Earnhardt. And as you can see already, has Dale about 8 car lengths behind him. So Joe Nemechek now takes over the lead of the race. John Kernan is with one of the drivers who crashed over there in turn 2, Brett Bodine.
And I tell you what, Bob, you should see all the damage to Brett's car. But first of all, Brett, you're okay, right?
Yeah, I'm all right. Awfully disappointed. You know, we had some potential sponsors here today, and you know, an awfully short day for us. But you know, I just don't understand. Out there running around, and you know, this guy, he's a great kid. He's a great kid. Got a lot of talent, but he's been in trouble all year in the Busch division, and you know, takes us out of the race today. Just a real shame. You know, where this team's looking for a sponsor, and we need one bad for next year, and hoping to have a good run today. And we had a great race car. We got in the pit road skirmish, ran over somebody's tire, got us in the back, but we had plenty enough race car to get us back up in there.
Well, Brett Bodine in the garage right now, and as you can see on his face, very disappointed, but hey, there's always next year.
So a 6th place finish at Sears Point in the month of May will be the best finish of the year for Brett Bodine. Another crash in turn number 2. Car into the wall. Who is it?
Gary Bradbury. And all the cars have been able to get by.
And the caution is out, although Bradbury was able to keep rolling, but the caution does come out.
And Jeff Gordon is trying to, finally they back off and take the caution flag.
Jeff is up to 19th position now and only 1 spot out of the assurance of a championship. So we've been slowed by 3 cautions already here today, as the first one was for a mandatory tire check. Then we had the crash in turn 2, and now another one over there involving Gary Bradbury, but he, after hitting the outside retaining wall, drove away. Let's take a look at it again.
And we see that Bradbury is already around, and a camera picks him up, and he goes up and slams that wall pretty doggone hard with the left side.
And fortunately, those cars that were right behind him managed to dodge him. There goes Wally Dallenbach taking the evasive move to the outside, and another car taking the high road to get around.
And these guys are not pitting there. That's a shock. That's a shock to me.
Well, they haven't run that many laps under green flag since they put on those tires. And if the leader doesn't come in, then you can't afford to come in and give up all that track position.
Okay, let's take a look at this from the onboard camera of Ricky Craven. And he was the one that took the high road to get around the spinning car of Bradbury.
I thought maybe that was Craven who went by on the outside.
It was indeed. But he got through unscathed, so everything is okay for Ricky Craven, although he is a lap down, running in 39th position. 52 laps have been completed here at Atlanta Motor Speedway, and the leader is Joe Nemechek.
Dad had the LiftMaster man put up a new garage door opener for me. I've only been driving for a couple of years. It's got this cool safety reversing sensor. Something gets in the way while the door's going down, goes back up, all by itself. So tell your folks to call a professional, the LiftMaster garage door opener man. He did a real nice job.
LiftMaster by Chamberlain, world's largest manufacturer of garage door openers.
The Players Racing Team has only one objective, to win. And the only motor oil they use to win is MotoMaster synthetic oil from Canadian Tire. After the most rigorous testing, the Players Racing Team engineers chose MotoMaster synthetic motor oil because you need a well-oiled machine to be a winner. MotoMaster synthetic oil, the ultimate in protection, available at Canadian Tire. Canadian Tire, everyday low prices made better.
Starting your engine is a terrible thing to do. But when you do start your car, there isn't an engine treatment in the world that can give it the kind of protection Slick 50 can, because nothing else has Slick 50's unique chemistry. That's why Slick 50 engine treatment protects so well at startup and keeps on protecting even when you change your oil. You can reduce your engine wear up to 50%. What it takes is Slick 50.
Want to play with the pros, score points, and win prizes too? Every week, armchair quarterbacks get in the game and call the plays with QB1, live, interactive NFL football. Thousands playing at NTN locations throughout North America compete simultaneously and get into the real game to win big. It's fun, it's exciting, it's competitive, it's QB1. Win a pair of tickets to Super Bowl 32 in San Diego, including airfare, accommodation, and $500 US. Play with the pros at an NTN location near you.
Woods, Els, Leonard, and Davis Love III. The Tour's elite go head-to-head at the PGA Grand Slam. See it Monday on TSN.
Monday, it's a special night for hockey fans. First, the Blues battle the Leafs at the Gardens. Then, the Hockey Hall of Fame welcomes the class of '97. It's a legendary evening, Monday on TSN.
Welcome back to Atlanta Motor Speedway, where the caution is still out, but we're about to go back to green. Or the Napa 500. We'll fire up your laptops and drive on the information superhighway with NASCAR Online. at www.nascar.com. You can stay plugged in and get all the latest news about all 12 NASCAR touring divisions, as well as NASCAR's top teams, updated twice daily on NASCAR Online, www.nascar.com.
We'll see the truck pull it away from the spot back on the second corner. There is looks like a jet dryer over in turn 2 now blowing the tire debris, the rubber off the racetrack. And Ned, that could be a problem with overheating today, couldn't it?
Well, it could be. You know, every time we go to Darlington, we talk about possible overheating problems there. And one of the reasons is that the track just grinds rubber off the tires. And if it throws it up into the grill and to the radiator, if the car's behind you, then it can cause overheating problems. Now, whether we'll have that kind of a situation here or not, certainly they're going to grind the rubber off the tires. But maybe it won't have the same effect as Darlington. But one thing that we do know, if that rubber gets, it normally is thrown up into the high groove, and if you get up there in it, that's bad news.
Bad news.
Sure is. Okay, Jeff Gordon now in 19th spot, one position away from where he needs to be to assure himself the championship, no matter what the other two do. And at the moment, the other two are 3rd, Mark Martin, and 10th, Dale Jarrett. Well, let's go from an onboard shot to an overhead shot of this magnificent palace of speed here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. And this shot, of course, coming from the Pennzoil copter cam. Boy, all the previous days, all weekend long, it's been cloudy here, and the copters had to fly at kind of a low altitude to stay below the clouds, but not a cloud in the sky today, as we're a half a lap away from the green flag. Bill Weber?
Well, Bob, Terry Labonte is chasing Dale Earnhardt on the track and in the points. Labonte came in here 6th. Earnhardt is 5th. Labonte is 19 points back. His car wasn't that good early. He wasn't running on the track where he wanted to be. He was running a higher groove. When they came in, they made some adjustments on their early pit stop, that mandatory one early in the race, and Terry got back in what he called the racing groove. Now he says his car is handling quite well, and he's extremely fast.
Hey, the pace
so
car's
Labonte
in.
should get better the longer this race goes along, and we're about to go back.
Go, 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 go. Pass it to the right. Watch you outside.
Passing to the outside. You're only allowed to pass on the outside on a restart.
Until you cross the start-finish line.
Until you cross the start-finish line. There's the spot that Jeff Gordon wants to be in. Oh, let me see. Lake Speed trying to get a lap back. Nemechek gets loose, and Earnhardt goes back in front.
Great run off that corner down on the inside, and he's going to make the pass.
Yeah, that's where he got some great momentum a while ago to take the lead, and he had it again there in turn 2, and so Nemechek charges back to the front, but I wouldn't count Earnhardt out of leading this lap. Nope, Nemechek's going to lead it.
Well, he's a master sticking that nose up under the car in front of him and trying to get him a little bit loose coming off the corner. Maybe that's what Nemechek did to Earnhardt. But Nemechek, that car is really working coming off turn 2. Great traction, great power.
The last lap, Joe Nemechek passed Earnhardt and still ran faster than the old qualifying track record here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. 186.8686 the last lap for Joe Nemechek. And this time he picked it up to 189.5.
Jeff Gordon picks up another spot. He passes Michael Waltrip, and that will move Jeff Gordon into the 18th position, and it looks like he may get another one. Right ahead of him is the guy who started this race from the pole position, Jeff Bodine.
And obviously, Jeff has not been able to find the handle so far on the QVC Ford. He sure found it yesterday, 197 plus miles per hour.
Sometimes cars that run that fast on a single lap don't run that fast in the race.
Jeff talking talked yesterday during our happy hour about his sponsorship situation for next year. Still nothing as far as a written agreement is concerned, but he hopes to have something put together soon. There are your top three. It's Joe Nemechek, Dale Earnhardt, and Mark Martin. Will show you in a Napa field summary where everybody else is running. And Ernie Irvan has made great strides here in the first 61 laps of this race from 23rd up to 8th.
Ted Musgrave has fallen back a couple of spots since the last time we showed you. He was in 13th, now 15th. And Jeff Bodine, our pole sitter, back in 17th spot. And Jeff Gordon from 37th to 18th.
Kevin LePage is driving the 91 car today in 21st position at the moment.
The last lap by, Mark Martin had the fastest lap of the first 6 cars, a little over 190 miles per hour.
And there is Ernie Irvan moving up another position. He is up to 6th spot, and a great run for Ernie Irvan, another driver who is in the last race for their particular team. And here's a battle for position. Bobby Labonte is in the 18, and Jeff Green with a very impressive qualifying performance, and he's running 8th here in the race.
He's been right up there in the top 10 since the race started. So Jeff Green having a great go here. He'll be back in that car in 1998. Gary Beckful owns it. That sponsor will be on it next year.
Meanwhile, Dale Earnhardt looked to the inside of Joe Nemechek here in the quad oval area of the speedway, but couldn't take the position, but he's still right there on the spoiler of Nemechek.
Well, I tell you, Mark Martin is right back there with him as we look out ahead of him. That two-tire change certainly seemed to work. We know that it got him 5 bonus points, but it didn't seem to hurt his race car. Now everybody else has got laps on their left side tire, so, you know, that's probably evened out as far as speed is concerned.
Joe Nemechek's best finish in the series this year came at the second Richmond race. He finished 6th, and is he going to lose the lead here? Nope. I thought Earnhardt maybe would take a shot down the backstretch, but not this time. The fastest lap was Bobby Labonte. How about that?
Bobby did the tire testing here for Goodyear on this new track, so he has more laps on this racetrack than any of the drivers in the field today.
And once again, Bobby Labonte had the fastest lap.
I think they were a little disappointed with their qualifying run, but certainly today is when it really counts. And it looks like he's going to try to make it count.
Ward Burton with the 3rd fastest speed that particular lap. And looks like the Ricky Craven just went a 2nd lap down in 38th position, so it has not been a good weekend for Ricky.
And Ricky Craven ran so well at Rockingham, I thought, well, they got this thing turned around. But at Phoenix and then again here today, struggling with the Budweiser Chevy.
Let's get an update on the handling of Jeff Gordon's car from John Kernan.
Well, Bob, what Jeff has told Ray Evernham and the crew is that the car is loose when he is out in front and someone is behind him. And this condition could be hard on the right rear tire. So what they've been telling Jeff to be easy on that right rear tire, try and save it as well as you can. As you can see, Michael Waltrip is just a couple car lengths behind him, so that shouldn't be a problem. It's just when a car gets right behind him, get that nose right up on his rear deck lid, the car gets really loose on him.
So he's keeping himself separated from Jeff Bodine, who is running right ahead of him by just a little bit. Joe Nemechek leads this race. Dale Earnhardt is 2nd, Mark Martin 3rd, followed by Terry Labonte and Ward Burton, 68 out of the 325 laps completed.
Whether you're the type that prefers to put yourself in the hands of the professionals, or you're the hands-on type that likes to roll up your sleeves, you can count on Bumper to Bumper for all your car and truck needs.
The dream is always the same. I'm in the mall. I'm looking for my girlfriend. So I head for Thrifty. Maybe she's there.
Go ahead, try them on.
Hey, it's a dream, so I go with it.
Over here.
She says,
No, over here. Are you gonna try those on?
like I said, it's a dream, so I go with it.
Whoa. You know, when I was just a boy, I spent the summer at John Mellencamp. It was great. We made records, we married models, and changed our names.
John Mellencamp, The Best That I Could Do, 1978 to 1988. The first ever collection of John Mellencamp's greatest hits, featuring the brand new single Without Expression. And all the songs you love. The Best That I Could Do, 1978 to 1988, from John Mellencamp.
Buy this too, or I'll spend the holidays at your house.
The Fall Wood Pro Sale from Stihl. Save right now on selected Stihl chainsaws starting at just $299.95 and get a Wood Pro kit valued at over $75 absolutely free. Stihl, built to last, priced to sell.
Woods, Els, Leonard, and Davis Love III. The Tour's elite go head-to-head at the PGA Grand Slam. See it Monday on TSN.
Welcome back to Atlanta. We're on board with Ted Musgrave, and we remind you can tune in to ESPN tonight at 8 o'clock and catch an NFL game. The Oakland Raiders take on the San Diego Chargers. That's at 8 o'clock Eastern Time tonight here on ESPN. By that time, the championship will be decided, but for right now, we've still got a lot of laps to go here. Joe Nemechek, your leader. Mark Martin is running third. Dale Jarrett is running 11th, and Jeff Gordon is up to, what, 15th spot now.
And Bobby has himself a good, comfortable spot out on the racetrack. Not too much traffic around him. Now, there's Bobby Hamilton coming up on him. He won't find him. He'll let him go on by. See, there's no one in front of him there. Now that Hamilton is, of course, he's there, but that's a good spot to be in, just out there where you're not nearly as subject to get into problems.
So, Benny, we talked in the open about how this team had to charge forward. They couldn't just take it easy. They had to charge to the front and get into a championship position. Now that they're in that, will they continue to just cruise along here?
I don't think so, because right now he is, last time by was 19 seconds behind the leader. I don't think you can afford to get lapped. I mean, the way that the leaders are going, sure, maybe he'll lap everybody but the top 10 cars, but I think that Jeff Gordon this early in the race needs to stay in the lead lap, and we'll see this time by, he's still 19 seconds behind the leader, which is about 3/4 of a lap.
Yeah, the leaders are turning about 29.5 seconds. If you see Earnhardt trying to make a move on Nemechek, and it doesn't work this time for the lead, but yeah, he's only about 10 seconds from being with.
Once again, the top two cars have separated themselves from third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. Let's get an update on Jeff Gordon's handling from pit road.
Jeff just a few laps ago radioed in and told the crew, man, I sure would like to see a caution flag. I'd love to come into the pits and put on 4 fresh tires. They're still trying to keep him telling him to keep taking it easy on that right rear tire. But right now it looks like he's content just to ride in the position that he's in, hoping for a caution so he can come in, bolt on 4 tires, and give that car a much more secure feeling.
Let's check out an AutoZone on-track interval report, laps 72 through 76.
Well, the leader, Joe Nemechek, and Jeff Gordon, he started out 16.9 seconds behind, and at the end of the 5 laps was 19.3 seconds. So he lost almost 2.5 seconds in that 5 laps. Now, right now, Jeff Gordon is maintaining, but you can see that Ray Evernham saw that and said, Jeff, pick it up a little bit, because Jeff Bodine was how many car lengths in front of Jeff Gordon just a few minutes ago? Now he's closed back up right on the back bumper of Jeff Bodine. So he's running this race right now to what exactly how Ray Evernham is telling him how to run this race.
There is Ray. Like the Jeff Bodine is going to go to the inside and allow Jeff to pass by, so Jeff into 15th spot now.
Nice move by Jeff Bodine.
John Kernan again on pit road.
Well, what they had just been talking about was that when Jeff got behind the 7 car, the car was or if he could get the 7 car to get in front of him, that he would tighten up a little bit. But as you see, Jeff got around the 7 car, so apparently the 7 car not handling quite as well as the 24. And you can see Jeff wanting to put a little bit of distance between him and the 7 car, because remember, he still has that condition where if a car's right on his rear end, the car gets very, very loose on him.
And he's got quite a bit of racetrack ahead of him to catch up to the next person that he would be concerned with, and that would be Bobby Hamilton, who is running 14th. Now let's go back to the front and check on Nemechek and Earnhardt.
Not much has changed. Nemechek still leading by, I don't know, 2 or 3 car lengths, but Mark Martin just kind of hanging in there.
But the guy who has been on the move since the green flag dropped more than anybody else, Ernie Irvan, he has moved into 4th position now, and he is on the move. He was second fastest that last time around. Bobby Labonte, who's right behind him, was the fastest, but nevertheless, from his 23rd starting position, Ernie Irvan here on lap number 82 has the occupancy of the 4th spot.
Seeing some pit stops now. Derek Cope is in as Dick Trickle goes out of the pits. Derek Cope was running in the 10th position, I believe, before he came in. So,
and that will be the team that Ernie Irvan drives for next year.
Next year, exactly. Yeah, you talk about Ernie coming to the front. Well, Bobby Labonte has been right there with him, moving right with him on every pass. And you can see how close he is. Bobby Labonte in the green, number 18, the Pontiac with Joe Gibbs. Interstate Batteries, their sponsor.
Check out the speeds, and it shows that those 2 are the fastest cars. And look at Jeff Green. Shirley Marlin that time. And we can see that the leaders must be in traffic by that speed of 181 miles per hour. They must be in traffic.
And Jeff Bodine coming into the pits. And other cars coming in now. So we'll see pit stops coming up here. Kenny Irwin coming into the pits.
As Bill Elliott, the McDonald's car, goes a lap down. Now puts 26 cars in the lead lap.
And Bill Elliott announced here this weekend that his second team for next year would be driven by Jerry Nadeau, Jerry Punch.
Expecting a 4-tire change for Jeff Bodine, our pole sitter. Tim Brewer, Terry Wood and the crew already having put right side tires on. Now coming to the left side of the car. A number of crew chiefs wanted another caution flag to look at tires. NASCAR said no, the tire were looked awfully good. Goodyear had done their homework as Jeff Bodine's car is down and away.
21.3-second pit stop for Jeff Bodine. Kenny Irwin Jr. still on pit road, and Steve Park has also moved on to pit road. And look at this, Earnhardt slipping back here.
Mark goes by, Ernie Irvan. Here comes Bobby Labonte.
Dale Earnhardt slips from 2nd back to 5th.
Somebody's going to stay out there and blow a tire, I'm afraid.
That's why everybody is staying out there now. They don't want it to be them. They want it to be somebody else if it's going to happen. They would like to see a caution so they can come in and get 4 new tires on.
And, of course, the worst thing that could happen would be to get caught on pit road during a caution.
Well, Jeff Bodine, we saw him make that pit stop just a moment ago. He was about 20 seconds behind the leader. He is now 2 laps down to the lead of the race.
Bobby Hamilton has completed his pit stop. Kevin LePage comes in, and Jeff Green gives up his top 10 position for a pit stop. As we're on board now with Mark Martin watching both Ernie Irvan and Bobby Labonte pass him.
Jeff Green is in the pits. He was running about 7th spot.
Ricky Rudd went very slow. He's coming into the pits, but he almost got against the wall coming down the backstretch. Let's go to the pits and Bill.
And it's 4 tires for Jeff Green. They thought he might have a tire going down on his Chevrolet Monte Carlo. The tires are on. Lug nuts being tightened on the left rear, and now he's away with a full load of fuel. Gave up a spot in the top 10, but he runs very well at this track. Earnhardt in the 42 also on pit road now. Jerry.
That was the deal. Joe Nemechek and Earnhardt both wanted to pit at the same time. Tony Glover very concerned. He is the crew chief for Nemechek about tire wear. Right side tires going on. Likewise, Earnhardt has pulled in further down. They will change right side there. Now back to the Bell South Chevrolet. One pump on the jack. Left front. Trouble getting the left front off. Now it is off. The left rear is already on. Left front still not on. He is down and away, and Earnhardt will beat Nemechek back toward turn 1.
Now Bobby Labonte comes in. Ricky Rudd goes out. Ward Burton also on pit road. Sterling Marlin is in. So is Ken Schrader, Johnny Benson, and Jimmy Spencer. Watching the work on Bobby Labonte as the crew now comes to the left side of the car.
Mark Martin comes in as they do that work. Here he is.
We'll get down to Bill Weber.
The Valvoline crew waiting for Mark. This will be his first 4-tire stop of the race. These are 3-lap scuffs they'll be putting on. They go to the right side, jack the car up, hold on the tires there, fuel going in. Mark has told the team his car is running very well. In fact, it's a little tight, and that's part of their plan, because that way they'll keep turning up the right rear. John Kernan.
Jeff Gordon pulled in, going to the work of the Rainbow Warriors. It'll be a 4-tire change, no chassis adjustment right now. Crew's already completed work on the right side. Swing around to the left side. Tires going on. Left front's already on. A little slow on the left rear, but finally down and away. Let's go to Bill Weber.
An emotional run here for Ernie Irvan today. His last race in the Yates Haviland Ford. He's got right side tires, a track bar adjustment, fuel going in around to the left side. Looking to pull on the left side Goodyear Eagles. A 4-tire stop for Ernie Irvan. And he lights them up as he dives back into traffic and heads back out on the speedway.
Just about the same time for Ernie Irvan and Jeff Gordon on their pit stops, right around 17 seconds. And Dale Jarrett has stayed out there to collect the 5 bonus points, and so he adds to his total at this moment.
So all of the 3 championship contenders have, here he's going to come into the pits this time, but all but Gordon have led a lap now. Mark Martin has led. Now Jarrett has led. Jarrett will be coming into the pits this time.
He's trying to tell everybody, to warn everyone, that he will be slowing down, because someone said it best last night. These guys with 190 miles per hour, it's just about like God in a rocket. Jerry Punch?
Well, I'll tell you, the word is spreading very quickly up and down pit road. The right side tires off Joe Nemechek and Dale Earnhardt did not look good, and that's one of the reasons they decided to go ahead and call Dale Jarrett in the pit. As he comes to a stop. Now, he has reported that the engine is apparently running a little bit better. They are back up to about 8,600 RPM. Right side tires going on. They roll them across. Now, left side, they clean. They pull the tearaway off the windshield. Rolling the tires away for DJ. The quality care Ford. Lug nuts are on, and he is down and away.
And we understand that Ernie Irvan has been black flagged, huh, Bill?
And we're told it's too fast down pit road for Ernie Irvan. We saw him light up the tires. Not sure if it was on his entrance or exit, but it's a stop and go. They're going to add a little fuel while he's here. So Ernie with a very costly penalty here under green.
Well, that's too bad, because he had gained so many spots on the racetrack to put himself in contention for the lead, and now a violation on pit road has penalized him. John Kernan.
Looking at the right rear tire that's just come off of Jeff Gordon's car, 60 laps on it. We can see just a little bit of the cord starting to show as the tread wears away. The cord starting to show, but 60 laps on the right rear and just that little bit of the cord. I think that speaks pretty well for these Goodyear tires, as adhesive as this surface is. Let's go down to Dr. Jerry Punch.
Well, they are not that comfortable here in Joe Nemechek's pit. This tire here is the right rear, folks. That is cord showing through very, very quickly. And also, the right front has cord showing through. And I was told that 3 pits away, Dale Earnhardt had the same situation going on with his right rear tire. The tire wear is getting better, but they just about pushed the envelope a little too far on this stop.
Benny, those drivers don't want to see those tires.
No, because, folks, underneath the cord is air.
Yeah, that's right.
And that's all that's in there.
Yeah, man, that was cutting it close.
And Ernie Irvan gets a second penalty for speeding on pit road. Here he comes again.
Man, what a tough break. Now, folks, today the speed limit on pit road is 45 miles an hour. That is slower than normal on a 1.5-mile racetrack. But
it normally is 55, but today it's 45, and there is Ernie stopping for the second time. Again, they're going to top off the fuel tank and send him right back out there.
Oh, man, has that been a costly series of situations here for him.
It certainly has been. All right, we'll take another break here at Atlanta Motor Speedway as we cover the Napa 500, the final race of the year.
Hi, everybody. Brendan Connor in the TSN newsroom, keeping you posted on NFL stuff south of the border. A big matchup today with the Patriots and the Bucs in Tampa Bay. Is it the new unis or what? Why are the Bucs doing so well? Maybe Trent Dilfer, third highest rated quarterback in the NFL. Maybe that's the difference. And he shows some of that high rating in the first quarter, hitting Jackie Harris over the middle for 25, down inside the 30. Same drive, Eric Rett from a yard out gets in with the second effort, 7-0 Tampa Bay. Just moments away, Tampa Bay failed to score with Eric Rett from the 1-inch line and had to turn the ball over to the Patriots. Other news from the NFL, the Colts leading the Packers 17-14, Broncos leading Kansas City 13-7, and the Steelers early over the Bengals 3-0 on a snowy day in Pittsburgh. Mike Keenan in action tonight with the Vancouver Canucks as they take on Carolina. They got a 3-3 tie in Anaheim.
Go where you wanna go. Find the road you've never taken.
Hey folks, check out these all-new Eagle Ultra Grips. Deep V grooves turn away water, slush, and snow for serious traction. Eagle Ultra Grips. Get them. Singers?
Serious freedom. Good year, good
Who
year.
knows snow?
Good year.
Those singers. Snow.
You know, when I was just a boy, I spent the summer at John Mellencamp. It was great. We made records, we married models, and changed our names.
John Mellencamp, The Best That I Could Do, 1978 to 1988. The first ever collection of John Mellencamp's greatest hits, featuring the brand new single Without Expression. And all the songs you love. The Best That I Could Do, 1978 to 1988, from John Mellencamp.
Buy this too, or I'll spend the holidays at your house.
You know, racing for interstate means my battery has enough power to run my car, as well as some other race necessities, like this mini fridge, track lighting, my foot massager, a window unit. And for those long races, who could forget the espresso maker? Heck, I even had a big screen put in for my friends.
Interstate batteries, power fast, built to last.
Hey, Bobby, the burrito's done yet?
500 at Atlanta Motor Speedway, 105 laps old. The leader of the race is Chad Little in car number 97. Not only is this the first time that he has led a race in 1997, it's the first time he has led a NASCAR Winston Cup race since the Daytona 500, 1994.
And I believe he's about to come into the pits. Let's see, it looks like he might be slowing down. Yes, he is. So the leader now comes on pit road. There'll be a lot of drivers that's glad to see him come on pit road because he was running a lap ahead of a lot of good race cars as a result of them pitting under green and him not. So let's go to the pits and Jerry.
Well, third pit stop of the day for Chad Little in the car number 97. He pitted on lap 26 and took 2 rounds in the right rear. Lap 52, he took on 4 tires. And now the John Deere Pontiac comes in, and Skip Eiler and the crew will change all 4 tires. The Goodyear engineers are here to take a look at these tires that are coming off the John Deere car. Tony Freund, the group leader and engineer here, will look primarily at the right rear tire. Now 1 pump, 2 pumps, left front off, left rear off, lug nuts being put back in place. It's full of fuel. They wait, they pull the jack, and he is down and away 21.9 seconds. Let's go to John Kernan.
Ted Musgrave is in. Remember, an early stop, he took on only 2 tires. His strategy to get some track position, but he had faded back after that. This will be a 4th tire change under green as Musgrave's crew has completed the service with no chassis adjustments.
Ted moves back out onto the racetrack. By the way, those 2 penalties assessed to Ernie Irvin dropped him back to 32nd position, 2 laps down.
And now then, something Jeff Gordon does want to see. There we see Jeff Gordon, and there, about 4 or 5 cars behind him, is the lead of the race, Bobby Labonte.
And Bobby Labonte is running very, very fast right now.
He has about about a 2-second lead over Mark Martin. But, yeah, Steve Park, Jeff Bodine, Dick Trickle, and then Jeff Gordon. That is the order in which they would be lapped here in the next few laps. But Gordon now goes to the inside of Ricky Rudd. He picks up that spot, or is Rudd a lap down?
Yes, he is a lap down already. He had a problem. I don't know if he had a tire to go down or what, but he just abruptly slowed on the backstretch just at the beginning of the green flag pit stops. There is the leader, Bobby Labonte, of the Interstate Batteries Pontiac. Rudd was able to get back to the pits, but it cost him some extra time.
Now let's put things in perspective here. Just because Jeff Gordon loses a lap, it doesn't mean the end of the championship, because again, all he has to do is finish 18th or better, and right now he's 15th. It's just that Labonte is setting such a torrid pace out there.
Just when you lose a lap, it just takes away some of your options. That's all. I'm sure that in a real world, in a perfect world, they would want to be in the lead lap. They'd rather be 20th in the lead lap than 15th a lap down.
Yes. So that pole setter just won the lap down.
And the Unical bonus money of $45,600 looks like it's going to go up again and carry over to next year.
See the top 10: Labonte, Martin, Cope, Jerry Cope, Earnhardt, Nemechek, Terry Labonte, Jeff Green, Ward Burton, Sterling Marlin, and Dale Jarrett is 10th.
Derek Cope made a great pit stop. I don't know if it just changed 2 tires or what, but he was running in the 11th position when he came into the pits, and now he's up there in 3rd.
There we see a Napa field summary where the entire field is running, and there you see Jeff Gordon and Bobby Labonte. And there you see Bobby Labonte go by Jeff Gordon.
And Jeff Gordon goes a lap down. He's in 17th position, but is now a lap down to the lead.
There is Mark Martin. He's 87 points behind going into this race, behind Jeff Gordon. So right now, Jeff Gordon would easily be the champion.
By 24 over Martin and by 50 over Jarrett if the points were awarded right now. Riding along with Mark Martin now.
Denny Spencer, what his car is going to look like next year.
4 drivers won last year and have not won in 1997. Among them, Dale Earnhardt, who has led a lap here, and Bobby Labonte, the current leader. Those 2 guys recorded their last wins here at Atlanta. We can't say on this racetrack because it is totally different from the one they won on. But Earnhardt had 2 wins last year. So did Sterling Marlin. Bodine and Labonte 1 win apiece, but they're still looking for their first win in 1997. Jeff Bodine is also a lap down. He was our pole sitter in 18th position, Doc.
And he hasn't won since last August in Watkins Glen. Bob, the concern for Bodine early on was they developed a vibration in his car number 7. And Tim Brewer, the veteran crew chief, knows that when a car is vibrating and you're running 190 miles an hour plus, you got 2 options: pit or slow down. And eventually you're going to have to pit anyway. So they had him slow down. Now they've changed the tires, and apparently the vibration has gone away, so hopefully he'll be able to claw his way back. But he's lost a lot of ground.
Indeed, he has, back to 18th position for the QBC Ford. Up front, meanwhile, it is Bobby Labonte with about a 5-second lead now on Mark Martin.
That lead is building.
Mark Martin, second right now. The other championship contender, Dale Jarrett, is in 10th position. And Jeff Gordon, as we said, is a lap down now in 17th spot. 117 of 325 laps are complete.
Racing for interstate means my battery has enough power to run my car, as well as some other race necessities, like this mini fridge, track lighting, my foot massager, a window unit. And for those long races, who could forget the espresso maker? Heck, I even had a big screen put in for my friends.
Interstate batteries. Power fast. Built to last.
Hey, Bobby, the burrito's done yet?
It took 6 days to create the Earth. It will take 6 more to destroy it. Easy come, easy go. Get ready for Armageddon. Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
Starts Friday, November 21st.
Fresh squeezed taste in a bottle. Tropicana Pure Premium Single Size. Perfect.
Back at Atlanta Motor Speedway, where Bobby Labonte, the car there on the left of your screen, is the leader of the race. He's caught up to a whole bunch of cars, and he hopes to put a lap down. 122 laps have been completed. If points were awarded right now, the championship would be won by Jeff Gordon by 24 markers over Mark Martin. He would move up a position. Dale Jarrett goes to third. Jeff Burton and Dale Earnhardt would finish fourth and fifth in the point standings. And now 6 through 10, notice that Ken Schrader would move up into the 10th position if points were awarded right now. And that's very important because the top 10 make the stage at the Waldorf Astoria in the NASCAR Winston Cup Banquet, which we will have live coverage of beginning at 9 o'clock Eastern Time on Friday, December the 5th.
And that is important, to get up on that stage and be able to tell the world about your team and how good things went during the year. And it pays more money when you're in the top 10, too. Get bigger checks.
Rusty Wallace is on pit road. We noticed him slowing on the racetrack the last few laps, and maybe a flat tire there or something anyway has brought Rusty Wallace on the pit road as Bobby Labonte just continues to circulate and pass some slower cars.
He's 6 3/4 seconds in front of Mark Martin right now as he tries to put Steve Park, and there we see Earnhardt going by Ernie Irvan. Ernie, after being black flagged twice by NASCAR, is now 2 laps down in 28th spot.
We understand that Earnhardt and Irvin had a bit of a bump out there. Let's watch this.
Coming off turn 4, and as you go to the start-finish line, and yeah, they bumped just a little bit, enough to know Ernie to know that he was there, and Earnhardt goes by Michael Waltrip.
Dale Jarrett, or rather Dale Earnhardt, is in 4th position at the moment. Meanwhile, Rusty Wallace is back on track. We're riding with him. He slipped down to 31st position. John, what was the problem?
Rusty thought he had a tire going down, but the crew is checking over those 4 tires that just came off the Miller Lite Ford, and they tell me that they found no problem with air pressure. One of the crewmen says, I guess the tires were just flat worn out, about 30-some laps, 35 laps on this set of tires. So Rusty thought he had a flat, but he did not. It was just the tires were worn down just a little bit.
Very costly for Rusty as he falls 3 laps off the pace now. There are 14 cars still on the lead lap.
Steve Park in the Burger King car just now goes a lap down, and Dick Trickle is the next guy in the sights of Bobby Labonte. That's Trickle in the Howlett Myers car. He drifts up the racetrack. Labonte just drives under him. Wow.
He is strong. Sterling Marlin just went by Terry Labonte for the 8th position.
Dale Earnhardt moving between 2 cars.
Past the 42 for position. That's Joe Nemechek in the number 42.
So Earnhardt is now 4th. By the way, our pole sitter Jeff Bodine is back on pit road.
And did you wonder, Derek Cope is still in third spot. What a great run he's given that skills car in his last run of the year.
We understand that he did just take on 2 tires during his green flag pit stop, which gave him great track position, but he was running good before he made the pit stop and is still running good after he made the pit stop.
And if he's got 2 really old tires on that thing, that's
on the left side. Yeah, but it didn't seem to hurt Mark Martin that much when he did that earlier in the race. We might see more of it as time goes by.
Here comes Bill Elliott down pit road. I would guess this is another scheduled pit stop for the McDonald's Ford carrying our Napa onboard camera.
Just a routine pit stop, we assume. Awfully slow down pit road at 45 miles an hour, but that's all for safety. Jerry?
Bob, you hit the nail on the head. Mike Beam said we're not going to take any chances today. We want our driver to be nice and healthy when we get to Daytona in 1998. They pull the tear off the way. They make an adjustment to tighten the car up in the right rear. Already right side tires going on. Left side going on, getting it full of fuel. And the McDonald's Ford of awesome Bill Elliott is down and away.
In 19.5 seconds, and Terry Labonte there in the middle of your screen is also in, Bill.
It's a maximum of 45 laps for the right side tires on the Kellogg Chevy. So that's what Terry gets, right side tires. They'll top it off with fuel, waiting on that, and he's away. 10.1 seconds.
You know, we showed you Dale Earnhardt just a moment ago as we watched Labonte leave pit road. We showed you Dale Earnhardt just a moment ago, and he was running where? Near 4th, wasn't he?
Yes.
Well, now he's falling back to 7th spot.
So apparently his car, he feels the tires wearing on it. Ken Schrader comes off the banking, heads down pit road. His car, he feels, needs some new tires on it.
See, Jeff Green has gone by. Ward Burton's gone by.
Here is Ken Schrader, who, as we told you just a few minutes ago, has moved up for the moment to 10th in points, but this pit stop will probably drop him out again for the moment. Bill?
And Schrader's going to get right side tires and plenty of fuel. It'll be a 4-tire change. Make sure they get the windshield. He is in that huge battle to end up in the top 10 in points and get himself on the stage in New York City. They both on the left sides, and Schrader rolls away in 18.5 seconds.
Here's Kenny Irwin Jr., who has been in several times. Nemechek is coming down. Jerry Punch, he's headed toward you.
All right, I showed you the tire wear on the right side of Joe Nemechek's Bell South Chevrolet. That's why they're coming about 4 to 5 to 8 laps earlier than other people. They're not going to take a chance at all. He was the last car on the lead lap, running in 12th position as he pits here on lap 134. They clean the windshield. Right side tires only, full of fuel, and the car stalled. Now they try to push the car away as Kenny Irwin goes by. Now Dale Earnhardt, likewise, will come down pit road. The winningest driver in Atlanta Motor Speedway history. 8 victories, yet he has not won in 1997. A streak of 15 consecutive years at risk here today as he comes in, and we expect to see a 4-tire change for the Goodrich Chevrolet crew. Tucker Meyer, the first can of fuel going in. Very careful about the windshield. NASCAR had an extra man over the wall to clean the windshield because the glare entering turn 1 is getting to be a factor. Left side tires going on, left front, left rear, and he is down and away.
17.5 second pit stop for Dale Earnhardt. We're watching the Pennzoil crew work on Johnny Benson. They're complete with their work, and Johnny is going back out on the racetrack. Well, every year when we come here late in the year and the sun getting low in the horizon, the problem has been in the 3rd turn. This year it's going to be in the 1st turn. Derek Cope brings the Skittles car in for a stop. Bill Weber, he's in front of you.
Derek Cope has had a great run, 136 laps on the board, the 36 car on pit road. He's out of this ride at the end of this day. Took 2 tires last time, 4 tires this time on his Skittles Pontiac. The right's already on, fueling it, tightening up the left side tires. He moves to the 30 car next season, and right now in 19.2 seconds, he has the Skittles Pontiac back out on pit road heading toward the speedway.
Jeff Gordon is now in the 11th position, a lap down. And here he comes down off the banking. And John Kernan. He's trying to get under 45.
And he's at near the entrance of pit road down here. He'll pull the car to a stop. Crew going to work. In fact, Ray Evernham, the crew chief, helping out with the full can of fuel, handing it over the wall, waiting for the empty can to come back across. Jeff is in the left side tires. Going on now, checking out the right rear tire. It looks okay from here, but I'll take a closer look. But 18.1 seconds, and we'll check that right rear tire because Rusty Wallace, when he pitted earlier, it was the right rear was showing just a little bit of cord after only 32 laps.
So Jeff Gordon moves back out onto the racetrack as the lead continues to be held by Bobby Labonte. He has not made a pit stop recently, and here's the interval from first back to second position. Where is Mark Martin?
He's way back. Like 13 seconds.
That is a long interval between first and second position. Let's see what 14.42 seconds lead for Bobby Labonte over Mark Martin. Back with more from Atlanta Motor Speedway and the Napa 500.
The dream is always the same. I'm in the mall. I'm looking for my girlfriend. So I head for Thrifty's. Maybe she's there.
Go ahead. Try them on.
Hey, it's a dream, so I go with it.
Over here.
She says,
No, over here. Are you going to try those on?
like I said, it's a dream, so I go with it. Whoa.
Genuine parts. We test them here so that you can go anywhere. Mopar parts available from your Chrysler Canada dealer.
What's so great about Speed Stick Clear deodorant?
Take a look at this gel. See? It's wet and sticky. And mine goes on dry.
Speed Stick Clear for tough 24-hour protection. It's more than clear. It's clearly dry.
By Menon.
Fresh squeezed taste in a bottle. Tropicana Pure Premium Single Size. Perfect.
Beginning Monday, TSN has no limits. Join the adventure and challenge the extreme. Catch the season premiere of No Limits Monday, right here on TSN.
You're watching exciting NASCAR action on TSN.
Completed. The lead is now in the hands of Dale Jarrett as Bobby Labonte has come in for the pit stop, and so Dale Jarrett now is the leader with, and he looks like he's coming in, huh?
Yes, he's telling the guys behind him. That was Morgan Shepherd. I'm slowing down. I'm going to pit road and getting me some new tires. Jerry Punch?
45 miles an hour, and we are seeing better and better tire wear. The tires that came off a moment ago, Bobby Labonte's car, after 53 laps, all four looked very, very good. That is good news up and down pit road. As DJ brings his Ford to a halt, they will change all four tires. They will make an adjustment to slightly tighten the car up a little bit in the right rear. The wrench in, one round out, as they will come down to the left side of the car. Left front and left rear tires going on. Cleaning the windshield, getting it full of fuel. Clean some rubber off the front grill. The car stalled when dropped on the track. And now he is down and away. He will follow John Andretti back toward turn 1.
And the cars have to stay below that white line, don't they, Benny, all the way through the second corner?
Yes, they do. That white line you see right on the right side of the 88 car, they cannot go across that white line until they get to the second corner because the groove is on the very bottom of the racetrack. They're running through there at 185 miles per hour. It would not be very safe if they drifted up at 30 miles per hour in front of someone running 185.
Well, with Dale Jarrett giving up the lead, it goes back now to Bobby Labonte with Chad Little running in second, Derek Cope third, Terry Labonte is fourth, and Mark Martin is in fifth position. So there, Mark Martin just passed Terry Labonte, and so he goes to fourth. And Bill can update us on the strategy involving the Jack Roush team of Mark Martin.
And Bob, they've got perfect strategy. We're not going to do a darn thing. Everything for Mark Martin's car has been going pretty well. Now, Steve Neal just told Mark that everybody has some chords showing. You do too. But Mark just told him it'll be better this time. The Valvoline Ford is a little better when he's running by himself than when he's in traffic or trying to catch the car in front of him. But Mark Martin's day has gone well. Usually, Mark will have a tendency to try and tell the guys exactly what his car is doing, loose or tight. But so far today, it has gone extremely well. Mark, very pleased with his car, as he told us he has been all weekend.
Mark Martin has led the points only once in 1997. The lowest that he has been in points is 8th. Of course, he came into the battle third today, and right now, if points were awarded, he would finish second in the championship, 37 behind Jeff Gordon. Mark and Jeff are the only drivers to post 23 top 10 finishes in 97.
See Steve Park in front of Mark Martin. Continues to stay there. Pretty impressive run for Steve Park today.
Currently being shown in 17th. He's one lap down, but he is having a good run.
We're riding along with Mark Martin as he tries to close up right on the back bumper of Steve Park and try to get a run down the corner. But Steve Park goes by Kenny Wallace. That spoils that attempt. Oh! Ladies and gentlemen, that was at about 190 miles per hour that they did the two-step out there.
No thanks.
You wouldn't want to do that, Bob?
I don't think so. I wouldn't want to do it at 40 miles an hour, let alone 190. Mark now to the inside of Kenny Wallace. Kenny back in 33rd position, 4 laps now. Nearing the halfway point of this race, 153 complete, 172 to go. And for those of you who have been watching ESPN News, we welcome you to Atlanta Motor Speedway. We're 153 laps into the 325 lap Napa 500, the last race of the year. Jeff Gordon right now is in his championship window. He is running in 16th position. He is a lap down to the field, but he must finish 18th or better to guarantee himself a championship. Dale Jarrett, well, it has not been a real good day for Dale, although he is running in the 10th spot at the moment, and he has picked up 5 bonus points for leading a lap. Jeff Gordon has not. Mark Martin really has been running the better of the 3 so far today. He's in 4th position, and he too has been among the leaders. The actual leader of the race is Bobby Labonte. But if points were awarded right now, Mark Martin would finish second, 37 behind Jeff Gordon, and Dale Jarrett would slip one to third in the points with Burton and Earnhardt in 4th and 5th in the final point standings. There's the leader of the race, Bobby Labonte, and he has just been unbelievable.
Right now, he's enjoying a little over a 10-second lead on Chad Little, and Chad Little is out of sequence to these other cars. We'll be stopping in just a moment. Derek Cope is 3rd spot right now, and Cope is probably about 16, 17 seconds behind Bobby Labonte.
There is Chad Little, and he has led a lap earlier today, and it's the first time he's led a NASCAR Winston Cup race since Daytona in 1994. So Chad is having a good run, but he is off sequence on the pit stops. He started this race in 24th position, and he has been as low as 37th on the 11th lap. Derek Cope is in his last run in the Skittles Pontiac, car number 36. Running in third spot.
There he is. And he is 18.8 seconds behind the leader, but he's 3 seconds in front of Martin, fourth spot.
That's Jeremy Mayfield running right behind Derek Cope. Jeremy is not on the lead lap. He's in 22nd. Heads for the high side of the racetrack to pass the tied car of Ricky Rudd. And now we go back and show you the fourth place occupant, Mark Martin.
Rusty Wallace just made a pit stop a few laps ago, so with those fresh tires, he tries to go on the outside of Mark Martin, pass him. Didn't work. Mark will go back by him.
Board now with Rusty Wallace. And let's try to find the fifth place car.
There he is, front row Joe. Joe Nemechek. The 4 car, Sterling Marlin, is in 6th spot. This is 4th position.
This best run we've seen Sterling have in a while. He's had a tough year.
And of course he is one of the 4 drivers that we showed you earlier won last year, but has not won in 97.
He'll be moving on from that car at the end of the year. Bobby Hamilton will take it over, and he'll go to the 40 car.
Sterling Marlin is 26th in the point standings going into this race, lowest in points among those who have started all events.
And there we see Dale Earnhardt. That also is battle for position. Earnhardt currently is in 7th spot.
And he started off this race with a whiz-bang, took the lead early, and looked like he was going to be a dominant force here. But at the moment, he is not, although he still is in the top 10 in 7th. A year ago, we were watching Terry Labonte wrap up the 1996 championship in the Winston Cup Series. He, of course, will not do that this year, but he's having a good run here this afternoon in 8th spot. And we're coming up on the halfway point as we continue to pan back and show you who's running where. There's Dale Jarrett.
He's been able to get by Jeff Green, moving to 9th spot. He has led 4 laps today.
Ernie Irvin, who is running right behind his teammate Jarrett there on the racetrack, was penalized twice for speeding on pit road. He has dropped down to 25th.
What we're checking now is the interval between 1st and 2nd. Chad Little has just made a pit stop in the John Deere car, so we'll go back to the Derek Cope car and find how far behind the leader is, and you're going to be amazed at how big a lead that Bobby Labonte has.
We are at the halfway point, and it's almost a 20-second lead for Bobby Labonte.
Wow.
Let's get down to Jerry Punch.
Well, Chad Little ran 57 laps, almost a full fuel stop. They took on 4 tires. He thought he had a tire going down. He was going to run like 4 or 5 more laps and make it a full fuel stop. He thought he had a tire going down, but no, he just worn out the right rear down to the cord. He is down and away.
That puts Derek Cope up into 2nd position. By the way, the leader at the halfway point has only won 9 out of the 31 races so far in 1997. Bobby Labonte is in that position at the moment. So 165 laps are completed, and Bobby Labonte leads the Napa 500. Jeff Gordon leading the points at the moment.
Budweiser Power Drive, brought to you by Budweiser. For all you do, this Bud's for you. Daytona International Speedway paves the way for a fierce head-to-head battle between veteran drivers Richard Petty and David Pearson.
Penalties, blow coverages. How can you expect to win the game with turnovers, huh? Look at me when I'm talking to you! Look at me!
You see this ring? This is our ring.
Don't you ever let anybody take it from us.
You could win a trip to the Super Bowl. Look inside cases of Bud or call this number for no purchase entry.
After a collision in the fourth quarter of the last lap, David Pearson and Richard Petty spin wildly out of control down the front straight. Petty slides into the infield, stopping just short of the finish line, where Pearson's able to gain control and pull his Mercury over the line in first place. Budweiser, for all you do, this Bud's for you.
Whether you're the type that prefers to put yourself in the hands of the professionals, or you're the hands-on type that likes to roll up your sleeves, you can count on Bumper to Bumper for all your car and truck needs.
Flex Integral. We thought about shaving, so you could think about something else. Braun. Smart thinking.
I never thought anybody would steal my car. My dad always said, use the club, but my car is older, so I thought it was safe. Wouldn't you know it? One morning, I look outside and it's gone, stolen. My dad called the police. A few days later, we get a call from the police. They said they'd found my car. When I went to claim it, the thief had put a club on it so it wouldn't get stolen again. Well, it won't get stolen again. Now that I have it back, I'm using the club. I guess I should have listened to Dad. Sherry Lovell, New York.
As you rejoin us, we're riding with Dale Jarrett, and that is not the view that he wanted to have, because the car that just passed him was the leader, and now Dale Jarrett in 7th, make that 8th position, is also a lap down.
And look as they drive into the sun, how the visibility just goes away. And that white car right in front of Bobby Labonte is Jeff Green, who is currently in 7th spot and now going a lap down. So right now only 6 cars in the lead lap. Bobby Labonte is marching through this field. Wow.
I'm telling you. Very dominating performance by Bobby Labonte. Let's go down to Jerry Punch.
When Goodyear was looking for someone to come here and test tires for this reconfigured quad oval in late September, they asked Joe Gibbs Racing to come down. Jimmy Makar said, sure, we got a brand new Pontiac we haven't run yet, we'll come down. And they ran lap after lap after lap. That test obviously paid off for them today. And by the way, the car that Bobby drove that day, he nicknamed Happy Gilmore. He said, I am so happy when I am in this race car. I love it. A week later, they go to Charlotte Motor Speedway, and he dominated up there, but it had an engine problem late in the race and did not win. This is that same race car.
And he's making a shambles of the field, Ed, just like he did in the early stages of Charlotte.
Yeah, he was very, very strong up there. It looked like he was going to lap the field up there, and then he got in someone else's oil and spun out. As Jerry said a little bit later on, he dropped the cylinder, but still finished second.
You know, we've been seeing some of the crews with their tear-offs on pit road, tearing off the strips off the windshield. Well, this is why. Look at the right side of the car and how dirty it is and how clear the left side is. That's why, and this racetrack, as we've talked about, in the late evening when they start driving into turn 1 into the sun, it's going to be a very, very tough go.
Now watch the right side of the windshield as he gets into the area of the track where there is glare. You can see how dirty it is, but when he gets down where there's going to be glare, it's almost impossible to see out of.
Here they go down in turn 1 and then drive into the sun, and this problem will only get worse as the day goes on. Oh, we got a car in the wall. Earnhardt.
Dale Earnhardt in the wall.
Now let's see who can get laps back here as Bobby Labonte comes off of turn 4. Dale Jarrett and the 29 car are going to try to get laps back. They might do it.
Yes,
they are. Bobby Labonte slows down.
Both Jeff Green and Dale Jarrett get their laps back.
How about that? That was what a move by Bobby Labonte, letting those 2 cars that he just left. He just slowed down to let them get back in the lead lap. And Dale Earnhardt, how disappointing is it for Earnhardt?
Man, he ran so good here today. Not that he's out of it, because he's still rolling. He'll get back in here and get some new tires on it and get the sheet metal pulled away and go back at it.
It could mean that he will end this season without a win, and that will break his 15-year winning streak.
Well, he has gone a lap down.
And here's the replay. What do you think? Jerry, what happened?
Well, previous time by, he had radioed in and said the car has gotten very, very loose. Apparently the tires are gone. So they were already out getting ready to pit him next time by. The problem was he never made it back. The car went away, and now he is on pit road. You see what happened into the wall, the impact for the Goodwrench Chevrolet, and that will pretty much end his chances at going to victory lane here. And that streak of 15 consecutive years will go away. Right side damage on the Goodwrench Chevrolet. Meanwhile, under the caution flag, we would expect to see everyone come down pit road, including our leader, Bobby Labonte, who has had them covered in the Interstate Batteries Pontiac. They will change all 4 tires. And by the way, last time he pitted 53 laps, and all 4 tires looked excellent. They cleaned the windshield. They were going to make a minor adjustment in the chassis, but they decided not to. Made a slight air pressure adjustment, getting it full of fuel, cleaning the windshield. As you heard Benny Parsons say, that's critical here with the glare entering turn 1 to get it nice and clean. Let's check in Mark Martin's pit with Bill Weber.
Mark Martin is getting 4 tires. They made a major chassis adjustment, 4 rounds in the right side to try and help Mark get a greater distance on his tires. He's out of here in a hurry with 4 tires and fuel. Good stop.
Derek Cope will come out just ahead of Mark, and Sterling Marlin will come out just behind him. We're in our 4th caution of the afternoon. It was caused when Dale Earnhardt got up against the wall over in turn number 2. Back with more after these messages.
We made the first battery to start the automobile, the first to handle the moon's sub-zero temperatures, today the extreme demands of professional racing. Now, Excide's put all this experience into a battery so advanced it's the official battery of NASCAR. Introducing the Excide NASCAR Select. It's specially designed and built to combat vibration and extreme temperature. So it's built to survive those grueling trips you'll be taking. The Excide NASCAR Select, making history again.
You know, there's a remarkable new tool right now at Canadian Tire that makes a lot of existing tools seem outdated. I'm talking about RoboGrip pliers from Mastercraft. You see, RoboGrip's special design allows it to self-adjust to most any size job with a simple squeeze of the handles.
That's right. No screws or levers to set. Just squeeze and turn. Plus, it's spring-loaded for one-handed operation, not like these regular pliers.
And it comes in 2 sizes, so it's perfect for most any job. Rounded nuts, pipes, flat surfaces, irregular shaped objects. And its offset head allows for easy access to those tight spots.
And RoboGrip's laminated jaw construction makes it so strong, it comes with a lifetime warranty.
The new self-adjusting Mastercraft RoboGrip is so versatile, you'll find it indispensable in your house, your garage, even in the garden. So don't wait. Get your RoboGrip pliers today. Available exclusively at Canadian Tire.
We're there to teach you how to do it yourself and be confident in doing it.
We have professional people in every department.
It's really important to teach our customers, to teach them and to coach them through projects.
I like to tell them, look, I've done it. It's not that hard. And often they'll come back and say, you know, you were right. If there's any problems, we're there to help.
It's a partnership with our customers. It's really important that they understand that we want them to be successful.
Their problems are my problems. If I don't solve their problems, I haven't done my job.
Caution remains out here at Atlanta Motor Speedway with 179 laps complete. Well, people ask me now that Speed Week is over and the Winston Cup season is over, what are you going to do this winter? I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to go to Tucson and cover races for you so that you can enjoy them all during the winter months. 3 weekends in December and 3 in January, featuring the late models, the Southwest Tour, and the Winston West. And note that the starting time is at 3 o'clock, except for January the 18th, the final race. The Southwest Tour event will be at 2 o'clock Eastern Time. That begins on December the 7th.
So, folks, we are looking forward to seeing all you in Tucson again. It's so much fun out there.
And we're going to also give you the opportunity to spend Christmas and New Year's with me and old BP, because we're going to be hosting 8 hours, or rather 8 races, 27 hours of programming for the Christmas Marathon in conjunction with NASCAR's 50th anniversary celebration. That begins December 24th, and then beginning New Year's Eve, 10 races and 31 hours of NASCAR Winston Cup programming. And I'm helped put that series together, and we're going to go back and look at some races that have been very, very interesting and sometimes controversial. It's going to be fun.
I guess they start in 1983, I believe, is the first race.
That's right. Jerry Punch.
Let me show you Dale Earnhardt's right rear tire, the most severe case we've seen today. The fact that the right rear tire got over on the outside shoulder, and you see these cords coming through here, that's where it was beginning to wear. Within 3 laps, Terry Labonte, the car number 10 of Ricky Rudd and Earnhardt already with the same problem. Rudd and Labonte made it on the pit road. Earnhardt did not. Folks, the white stuff on the inside, that is concrete dust. What you don't want to see.
Let's replay the crash once again as Earnhardt
just goes in the corner in that right rear tire. There's no rubber there to grip the racetrack. Earnhardt had to chase it up the hill, and you finally run out of racetrack. There's a retaining wall there, and that's what Earnhardt was able to stop his progress, because he probably slid out to the airport if it hadn't been for the retaining wall.
From high overhead, there's the shot from the Pennzoil copter cam. And remember now, that happened to Dale Earnhardt, and we've got almost half a race to run. It can happen to anybody, including any one of the 3 title contenders. At the moment, Gordon is in command of the championship, but still a lot of laps to run. He is currently shown in the 12th position. Mark Martin is 3rd. Dale Jarrett is 6th as the green flag comes back out on lap 182.
Said all along, the biggest job that Jeff Gordon has to do is run every lap.
Yeah, he's got to finish.
He's got to finish, because right now, if he falls out, he will go back to about 36th spot, and the championship would go away.
And that's going to hold true right up to the checkered flag. I mean, there's probably going to be 32 cars running at the finish of the race.
Yeah, at least the last 3 or 4 laps.
Yep. So don't go away. That's what we're trying to tell you. Just stay with us here, because this thing is far from over.
And here's the battle for the lead as Mark gets on the inside of Bobby Labonte. Goes by. Also, Derek Cope, the 36 car, is now the leader of the race.
Cope is first, Mark Martin second, and Bobby Labonte is in 3rd spot. And there was Mike Skinner going to the inside of Labonte, so Labonte is not off to as good a start here as he has been.
And Ward Burton also was able to get by and get back in the lead lap. And here comes Bobby Hamilton going by Labonte. What in the world?
He probably had to put sticker tires on it. And just taking it easy here these first few laps, it may be skidding around with him a little bit. Takes a little bit to get him seated in.
There are now 8 cars on the lead lap, with Ward Burton getting his lap back.
And here comes Mark, closes up right on the back bumper. Gets Derek Cope just a little bit loose when that happened. Cope chased it up the hill. And Mark tried to get by, and he's still trying to get by.
He has the preferred groove, though, down on the inside. He should be able to make the pass. Well, no, not going to be able to do it this time.
Derek's giving him quite a battle, isn't he?
Hanging on out there. Hanging tight on that outside.
We're watching from Mike Skinner's onboard camera as things unfold ahead of him.
And now Bobby Labonte seems to have his car back up to speed as he moves back into 2nd spot.
Well, that glare is getting worse and worse, Benny. As you said, it's not going to get better as the day goes on.
Mike Skinner will be the 1997 NASCAR Winston Cup Rookie of the Year.
And when the race is over, the last 100 laps of this race, these drivers literally going into turn 1 will just be trying to drive in the middle of the racetrack and wait until they get out of the sun and then worry about hitting the accelerator. It's going to be so tough as it goes on.
Fierce battle between three drivers for position. Jeff Green going on the inside of Dale Jarrett, trying to take over fifth. Jarrett was trying to pass Derek Cope and gets past himself.
And you got to be impressed with Jeff Green. How about it on the 18 car, Doc? What was the story there?
Well, they made an air pressure adjustment. They did put on scuffed tires, not stickers, but they made an air pressure adjustment, so he had to wait for the pressure to come back up to where he would like it to be able to get the car to turn in the corners. But even with that, Bobby has radioed said, I just do not like this particular set of tires.
Bonnie now is just about 9/10 of a second behind the leader, Mark Martin.
And the leader, Mark Martin, that time around was the only driver that recorded a lap above 188. Let's check the speeds this next time around to see how they're doing.
Ward Burton running his heart out in front of Mark Martin. They're trying to stay in the lead lap, hoping for a caution. Ward's running in 9th, 8th.
There we see that time Bobby Labonte had the fastest lap, 189.286 miles per hour. Sterling Marlin was second fastest, and our leader had the third fastest lap.
It'll be a matter of time until Bobby Labonte will be right back up there.
Let's take a look at the Busch race recap. The leader, Mark Martin, as he has led 12 of the first 189 laps. We've had 18 lead changes, 4 caution periods totaling 23 laps, averaging a little over 147 miles an hour. These drivers have picked up 5 bonus points for leading a lap. There have been quite a few of them. There are 3 pages worth here. Everybody gets 5 bonus points, and the guy who leads the most laps gets an additional 5. Derek Cope has led 2. Now we'll show you who's out of competition. Darrell Waltrip is, Brett Bodine, Gary Bradbury, and Buckshot Jones have retired due to accidents. If points were awarded right now, Jeff Gordon would win the championship by 34 over Mark Martin, with Jarrett slipping down to 3rd in the final point standings, and Burton and Earnhardt finishing 4th and 5th. In the second 5, again, the only change there would be Ken Schrader, who would make the stage at the Waldorf Astoria and finish in 10th position. How about 11 through 15? Well, Johnny Benson would gain 1. Ted Musgrave would be the big loser if points were awarded right now, losing 2 positions back to 12th. Mayfield, Urban, and Hamilton finished the top 15. In the top 20, Michael Waltrip would gain 1, and Ricky Craven would lose a position.
Bobby Hamilton in the red blue 43 car is just a lap down. He's between the leader, Mark Martin, and Bobby Labonte.
See there, the Ward Burton would move up to 24th in the point standings. But still a lot of racing to go, a lot of laps to be run. But Bobby Labonte appears to be back on track and is headed toward the front of the field once again. He's second to Mark Martin. Back in a moment.
This Sports Break is brought to you by Steel, makers of the #1 selling chainsaw worldwide, and a complete line of outdoor power products for all your lawn and garden needs.
Hi, everyone. Brendan Cotter in the TSN newsroom, and thanks for joining us as we update you on some NHL action, afternoon action between Colorado and the Rangers. And we take a look at this one, and we find first period action. Crisscross, Avalanche, Dead Marsh in front. Jeff Odgers, an unlikely trigger man right there. He's a tough guy. That's what they got him for, but he pops a goal. 1-0 Colorado. Rangers on the power play later. Tim Sweeney in front, able to shovel that in, making it a 1-1 tie. Late first period, Sakic dropped for Ricci. Richter makes a stop there, 1-1 after 1. Kovalev has just scored now to make it 2-1 for the Rangers. And continuing with our NHL news, Mike Keenan makes his home debut today with the Vancouver Canucks as they face Carolina. Keenan, of course, earning a draw in Anaheim, 3-3 in his debut behind their bench.
Hey, dream boy, I'm gonna spend my life with you. Hey, dream girl, I made a promise to be true.
into the lead here at the Napa 500. Join host Mike Tirico and his team for NFL Prime Monday. That's at 7:30 tomorrow night Eastern Time. They tackle all the NFL news from all this weekend's action. Then they'll get you ready for ABC's Monday Night Football. The game this week is between the Buffalo Bills and the Miami Dolphins. That will be tomorrow night at 9 o'clock on ABC. And Dan Marino has a part of the second Bill Elliott car for 98, right?
That's what I heard, that he was a partner with Bill Elliott in his second team next year with Jerry Nadeau as the driver and First Plus Financial as the sponsor of the car. And Bobby Labonte, you saw back in the lead. There's the second place car of Sterling Marlin.
He passed Mark Martin a couple of laps ago, and boy, I tell you, Sterling Marlin is looking for a win in his final race with this team. Mark Martin slips back to third spot. He's about a second and a half behind Bobby Labonte.
Bobby Hamilton has to be very encouraged as he looks up in the mirror and looks on the scoreboard and sees the car he's going to drive next year in second spot.
Sterling Marlin has only 2 finishes better than 20th in the last 11 events. And his best finish this year came at the Pepsi 400 at Daytona in July, where he registered a third-place finish.
There's Jeff Green, the 29 car, the white car, followed by Joe Nemechek. That's a battle for the 4th spot. The car in front, Mike Skinner, is 4 laps down. He had some problems, had to go in the pits. Gary Cope. The Cope's car right now is struggling. We saw him leading the race just a moment ago, and now it's fallen back to 6 seconds behind the leader in just a few laps.
Boy, Jeff Green, as far as I'm concerned, is the most impressive driver so far in this race. I mean, here's a guy who took over this ride and during the season and is giving it one heck of a run. Bill Weber.
And Mark Green's had a lot of success here. Unfortunately, I'm sorry, that'd be Jeff Green. Earlier in the weekend, though, he blew a motor when they were scuffing tires. Now, that created a problem, and basically, they ran out of scuffed tires. So this is the first run in this race that Jeff has done on sticker tires. This morning, car owner Gary Bechtel said they were going to take some of these good years and bolt them on the rental cars to put some laps on them, but they wouldn't fit.
That's right. Those rental cars have a 4.5-inch bolt pattern, and the race cars have a 5-inch bolt pattern.
I'll bet that has happened, though, years ago, huh, Ned? You ever run into that situation?
Well, I have run racing tires on street cars. And years ago, that's when these racing tires were about the size of a sport utility vehicle now. And yeah, they'd last a long time. Wasn't too good on the wet pavement, though. The rubber was very, very hard on those tires. And boy, you could bust your fanny if you were not careful.
Well, Pontiac has had a bit of a turnaround. In the first 24 races of the 97 season, they had 5 top 3 finishes. However, in the last 7 races, and they were given a break by NASCAR, a little bit of a rules change, and they have really come on in the last 7 events with 7 top 3 finishes.
I think I said on NASCAR today about 7 races ago that Pontiac NASCAR had stepped up to the plate. They had given Pontiac some help, and now it's up to the Pontiac teams to step up and show they were worthy of it. Well, obviously, they have stepped up to the plate.
Exactly. Bobby Labonte coming up to try to put a lap on the 8th place car of Ward Burton. Back with more from Atlanta after this.
The dream is always the same. I'm in the mall. I'm looking for my girlfriend. So I head for Thrifty's. Maybe she's there.
Go ahead. Try them on.
Hey, it's a dream. So I go in.
Over here.
She says,
No. Over here. Are you going to try those on?
like I said, it's a dream. So I go with her. Whoa.
You have it, or you don't. Large screen TVs. Who's the brightest of them all? The Tachi Ultravision. The world's brightest picture. Tachi's exclusive new super bright lens technology. Magic focus brings colors together. Exclusive Hitachi technology. Trust what you see. Ultravision has it. You got the picture, kid? Or is it the picture? Or is it Hitachi Ultravision?
If you want to play in this game, you'd better be prepared to go all the way. And no matter where your game takes you, MasterCard will be there. Because no other card is accepted in more places worldwide than MasterCard. Not Visa, not American Express. The official card of the NHL, MasterCard. Accepted across North America and around the world.
Monday, the Hockey Hall of Fame opens its doors to welcome NHL legends Mario Lemieux, Islanders dynamo Brian Trottier, and Oilers kingpin Glenn Sather celebrate their triumphs. The Hockey Hall of Fame 1997 induction night. See it and live it on TSN. Monday, it's a special night for hockey fans. First, the Blues battle the Leafs at the Gardens. Then, the Hockey Hall of Fame welcomes the class of '97. It's a legendary evening, Monday on TSN. Get in the paint. Check out what's happening around the league. The Raptors and the Grizzlies. Grassroots b-ball and a shootout. NBA in the paint. Mondays on TSN.
For the Mercedes Super 9 Tennis World Championship match between Sampras and Kafelnikov. That's at 4:30 Eastern Time, right after the conclusion of the Napa 500 here on ESPN. Kafelnikov.
I'm impressed, Bob.
Thank you very much.
Did good. Good thing they didn't give it to me. I said it's going to be a tennis match following us.
Well, Bobby Labonte is coming up to lap now Dale Earnhardt again. That would put him 2 laps down in 15th position. Earnhardt hit the wall not too long ago, right about there on the racetrack, and has been put back into a position where he probably is not going to win the race. But he sure had a good run at the beginning.
You know that he hit the wall with enough force to bend the steering mechanisms on the car, and you're right, the car will not handle well enough for Earnhardt to win this afternoon, but he sure did give it a valiant effort. He ran well at the beginning.
He is the only driver in the top 40 in points who does not have a DNF this year. And you can say that he has been running at the conclusion of all races this year. That's not exactly right because, of course, of what happened to him at Darlington, but the car has been running at the end of the races. All right, here's a battle now for the second position between Sterling Marlin and Mark Martin. And right now, Mark Martin is the top-running guy of the 3 battling for the championship. But if points were awarded right now, Mark Martin and Dale Jarrett would be tied for second position, 44 points behind Jeff Gordon, and the tiebreaker is number of wins right now.
That's my understanding. So Jarrett would get it in that case.
Yep.
So Martin needs to pass Sterling Marlin to pick up 5 points right there. Of course, he has to maintain it till the end of the race. Jarrett's back there racing with the 29 car of Jeff Green, so he'd need to pass him. So then that would put it right back where it is now. And
all right, let's go down to John Kernan, who has more on Mark Martin.
Well, Mark Martin is trying to chase down Sterling Marlin. He'd like nothing better than to get around him, and as you guys pointed out, get those 5 points. If he could hold on to that finish in the second position. But Sterling Marlin and his crew, almost like times of old, they've had a very, very rough year. A couple of weeks ago, they were down here testing. Crew tells me that after that test, they knew that they were going to have a good weekend today. In fact, they have not made one single chassis adjustment to that car as Mark Martin gets to the inside trying to take over that second spot, and he does. They have not made one chassis adjustment on the 4 car. All they've done is simply put on 4 tires and add gas.
So Mark Martin now does go into second position. And not only that, but a second position all by himself in the point standings. And Sterling Marlin back to third spot. Here comes Jeff Green and Dale Jarrett, who are running 4th and 5th, each about 6 seconds behind Bobby Labonte. And Jeff Gordon is running in 12th position, a lap down. There are only 7 cars on the lead lap.
And there are only, what, about 7 cars also that are 1 lap down. So that puts Jeff Gordon in good position. We talked about him getting a lap down and how tough that was. But now that he's in a group of cars there that are just 1 lap down, that puts him back in pretty good shape, Benny.
Yes, it does, because 16th place Dale Earnhardt is 2 laps down. So even if Jeff Gordon falls back to the end of this group, you'd only go back to 14th spot, which would ensure a championship.
So that's the way the championship rounds out at the moment. Now with just over 100 laps to go in this race. Bobby Labonte trying to repeat here as the champion. He won this race last year, while his brother Terry won the championship.
At Sprint Canada, the world revolves around you. With the most savings plan, you can call any day, any time, to anywhere with no time restrictions and get great by-the-minute rates to any country on Earth.
Like the United Kingdom, 36 cents a minute. India, 89 cents a minute. Or Australia, 55 cents a minute.
Where in the world?
Get the most for the least from Sprint Canada. Call 1-800-994-MOST today.
Love the hat. Oh, I need it. My hair's a disaster. Look at my dandruff. That's easy to take care of with the right shampoo. Here.
With regular shampoo, flakes can keep coming back, but Head & Shoulders helps eliminate dandruff and helps stop flakes before they even start. You may never see flakes again. And your hair?
My hair looks great. Thanks. Don't forget your hat. Who needs it?
Head & Shoulders changes dandruff problems into beautiful hair.
Mopar Genuine Parts. If we've got what it takes to do it here, just imagine what it'll give you there. Mopar Parts, available from your Chrysler Canada dealer.
What's so great about Speed Stick Clear deodorant?
Take a look at this gel. See? It's wet and sticky. And mine, it goes on dry.
Speed Stick Clear for tough 24-hour protection. It's more than clear. It's clearly dry.
By Menon.
Whether you're the type that prefers to put yourself in the hands of the professionals, or you're the hands-on type that likes to roll up your sleeves, you can count on Bumper to Bumper for all your car and truck needs.
ESPN Speed World today at Atlanta Motor Speedway in Hampton, Georgia for the Napa 500, the final race of the year. The Pennzoil Copter Cam overhead is following around this 1.5-mile racetrack. The leader of the event, Bobby Labonte.
Bobby Labonte scooted out there to a 4.5 second lead. Cruising right along.
From the helicopter, you can just see this fantastic facility here. It was a very great racetrack before Bruton Smith put $30 million of improvements in it and built some grandstands and some suites and changed the track, and now it's just a palace of speed. And Dale Jarrett has picked up a couple of spots here in the last 5 laps.
Past Jeff Green, now he's past Sterling Marlin, taking over 3rd.
So the championship contenders are now Mark Martin 2nd, Dale Jarrett 3rd, and Jeff Gordon 12th.
I think something's happened with Sterling's car. We talked about it a little bit ago, how good he was running. But boy, he's off the pace from what he was. Now Jeff Green goes by. I don't know if the tires have just given up on him or what the situation is, but he definitely has slowed.
That could be the situation, Ned, that the tires just are worn, because we've seen that 25, 30 laps on some cars, and you just simply start slipping and sliding.
Mark Mark Martin and Dale Jarrett are staying up front, and it's very important that they do stay up there in a winning position, because if something should happen to Jeff Gordon, they would be right there to capitalize. And speaking of Jeff, here he comes in for a pit stop.
It's time for pit stop. Kyle Petty comes down the pit road. So does Johnny Benson. Let's go to the pits and John Kernan.
Jeff Gordon in for service. It'll be a 4-tire change. Don't anticipate any changes, although they have made some air pressure adjustments throughout the day. The windshield, just trying to get it clean. And I'm telling you what, I'm having a hard time seeing through the windshield on this side of it. The improvement's still going. Left side tires going on. Left front's done. He's down the way 17.1 seconds. Pretty good 4-tire change right there.
That's an excellent pit stop.
A great pit stop, and we've seen those all day long from those guys. You said at the very beginning that they always rise to the occasion. Jerry Punch?
All right, Joe Nemechek, Bellstout Chevrolet. Joe qualified 5th, running a solid 6th, and in fact 7th when he came off the track for this pit stop. They will change 4 tires, clean the windshield. Tony Glover and crew very comfortable now with the tire wear. They're a little bit concerned at the beginning of the day. Right side tires on. Thus far, a flawless stop by this Felix Sabates own team. Left front tire going on. Left rear, have it full of fuel. Lug nut tight. Pull the jack down and away. Let's go back to John Kernan.
Sterling Marlin is in for service. Remember, we appear to be slowing down. It's just the tires are just worn so much, so they will put 4 scuffed tires on Sterling Marlin's car. Already bolting on the left side. It's a little bit slow on the left front tire. Fuel service is complete. Sterling is down and away 26 even.
Ken Schrader is on pit road. Ricky Craven is. There's Schrader.
And Schrader, the NASCAR official, told him, said, look, we got a lug nut or something's wrong.
Whoa, and he almost runs over his own man, pulling out of his pit box.
Steve Grissom comes into the pits. Here comes Bobby Hamilton, Ernie Irvin. These are scheduled pit stops.
I noticed this little flame there on the right front.
Yeah, we see the flames. I guess that they're using such a soft brake pad to get the car stopped off turn 4 that the trying to stop from 190 miles per hour to 45 miles per hour is a problem. And I guess it would get them so hot.
And he's having to come back in, guys. He went out too fast. What a tough break. Sterling Marlin, we talked about a great run he was having here today, and this is going to hurt. John Kernan?
He was too fast exiting pit road, so it's a stop-and-go penalty for Sterling Marlin. And, guys, if I can get your attention here, I want to show you the left front tire that just came off of Sterling's car on this last pit stop. Remember, we had said he had slowed down. Check all this area out in here. Some wear in there. So that's apparently the reason. A little bit of blistering on Sterling Marlin's left front, and the leader coming into the pits.
Bobby Labonte is down off the banking and onto pit road as he makes his way down to his pit box, which is down near turn number 1. Doc?
Scheduled pit stop for Bobby Labonte, the Interstate Batteries Pontiac. Boy, what a flawless race Jimmy Makar has called today. Exactly as he had planned it, coming in, and they have shown no significant tire wear. That is incredible, considering the fact some teams have struggled early on. Left side tires now going on the Interstate Batteries Pontiac. Expecting to see Dale Jarrett and a few others within a lap or two to make their regular pit stop. 18.1. Labonte is away.
Jimmy Spencer on pit road, so is Kevin LePage, John Andretti, and that puts Mark Martin in the lead at the moment. Right ahead of him is the 24 car of Jeff Gordon.
And Jeff has made his pit stop. He's being shown 2 laps down. In fact, he's almost 3 laps down.
But Mark Martin will need a pit stop soon. 235 laps complete. We've got less than 100 to go at Atlanta.
Who are you?
Ripley Ellen, Lieutenant First Class.
Ellen Ripley died 200 years ago. You're not her.
Who am I?
To destroy a species that lives to kill.
I can feel it behind my eyes. I can hear it moving.
You need a weapon that never dies.
Something of a predator, isn't she?
Sigourney Weaver, Winona Ryder. Alien Resurrection.
I thought you were dead.
Yeah, I get that a lot.
November 26th, only in theaters.
When you need a sealant that's got to stick, Mono Ultra does the trick. Mono Ultra. When it calls for the best, the choice is clear. There won't be anything like it for years. Mono Ultra. It works in the sun. It works in your shower. You wash up with water and make it an hour. Exterior It cures fast, it won't shrink or crack, and it's completely paintable. Mono Ultra! Get the Mono!
Connect to the world with Corel WordPerfect Suite 8.
Dynamic word processing, spreadsheets, and presentations. Powered up with Intel's MMX Media Enhancement Technology. Link and publish your work company-wide and worldwide with HTML and the power of Java. One extraordinary package, charged with amazing value.
Corel WordPerfect Suite 8. Office Suite Excellence.
Excuse me, think your disposable razor shaves as comfortably as his Gillette Sensor Excel? Yeah. Well, try Sensor Excel. It'll change your mind. After one shave with Sensor Excel, we bet you don't go back. Because only Sensor Excel has protective micropins for extra comfort. Whoa. And self-adjusting blades for extra closeness. Disposables don't. And Sensor Excel gives more shapes per blade than any disposable.
Excuse me.
Take the Sensor Excel challenge. Bet you don't go back to disposables.
Hey, I want my Sensor Excel back. Hey, hey!
Tonight, the NFL rocks San Diego. Catch an AFC West shootout as the hometown Chargers battle the Raiders. NFL 97, it's live and kicking tonight on TSN. Monday, it's a special night for hockey fans. First, the Blues battle the Leafs at the Gardens. Then, the Hockey Hall of Fame welcomes the class of 97. It's a legendary evening, Monday on TSN.
Normal sequence of pit stops has occurred. Both Mark Martin and Jeff Green have come in for pit stops, and so that puts Bobby Labonte back in front.
Also, Dale Jarrett has been in.
If points were awarded right now, Jeff Gordon would win the championship by 34 over Jarrett. Martin would be 39 behind. And Burton and Earnhardt would stay the same. Now in the second five, the only change would be Johnny Benson. Now we've been seeing Ken Schrader up there in that 10th position all along, but now, because Schrader has had to come in twice here recently, Johnny Benson would be on the stage in New York. He was black flag for speeding on pit road. Ken Schrader was. Ted Musgrave would lose 2 positions.
Wow, wow, is that awful? We saw the NASCAR official waving. I don't know what that was all about, and then I guess as Schrader left, he did obviously sped down pit road or was speeding, and NASCAR black flagged and brought him back in, and that cost him about another half lap.
Yep. Here is Mark Martin back in second position, about 5.5 seconds behind Bobby Labonte. And then in third place is the other championship contender, Dale Jarrett, who is about almost 8 seconds behind Labonte. There's Dale. Jeff Green, Derek Cope, and Joe Nemechek are the only other cars on the lead lap.
Now we're getting to the point, Ned, that about 80 laps to go. Some of these guys need to stop twice. Will some of them try to stretch it and just stop one time?
I believe that the leaders that have just stopped in the last 5 to 10 laps, I believe they'll be able to go with one more pit stop.
One more pit stop.
And I'm sure that was part of their planning when they came in. Try to stretch it out and go about 45 laps per run.
Looking for the 29 car, running fourth.
There he comes. Cartoon Network Chevrolet.
He has a career best finish going here. His best career finish was at California earlier this year, in which he came home in 7th spot. Bill Weber?
And that's Jeff Green in the car, and that is Jeff Green's car, but those are Mark Martin's tires. Remember, Mark Martin's team got 4 sets of scuffs from Brett Bodine. The 29 was running very well, chasing the 88. So they wanted the 29 to be a little better, maybe, so he could fight out the 88. So the 6 bunch gave the 29 a set of their scuffs, because the 29, remember, is out of scuffs. That all worked well until the 29 had a problem on the left rear during their pit stop. But the 29 has the 6 tires on it right now.
The games that people play. It's amazing.
Every night and every day. Jeff Green has been as low as 25th and has run second. That was on lap 141, but is settled now into 4th spot.
He really has had a great run today.
He has. and you certainly can't take anything away from the performance that Derek has had this afternoon.
Currently in 5th place. He has had a good run here today.
I think Chuck Ryder, the owner of the 30 car, did I read this going to be sponsored by Jiffy Lube or 30 car?
One of the Pamsol affiliated companies, I think. Yes.
Derek has his best finish of the year going prior to today. His best finish was in the first Michigan race, in which he came home 8th. It's Joe Nemechek and Terry Labonte running together on the racetrack, but they are not on the same lap. Labonte's 2 laps down, but Joe Nemechek is your 6th place guy right now. Down to Jerry Punch.
Well, Bob, let me show you Martha Nemechek. She is the mother of Joe Nemechek, the driver of that car right there, the Bell South Chevrolet. Now, when he comes by, watch her right arm. She cheers her son every single lap by. Now, take a look at her left hand. She clasped in her left hand a chain around her neck, and on that chain is a medallion of an angel. So that is my connection with my son, John, that I lost earlier this year. With her right hand, she cheers one son. With her left hand, she holds on to another. What more can you say about a mother's love?
Well, that's a great story. That's why that win last week at Homestead was so emotional for the family. Of course, that's the place where John lost his life earlier this year. And Joe came back to win there.
You'll often find Joe's mom in the pit area on days before the race, and when somebody stops to talk to Joe, she'll take their picture and then send them an autographed copy of the picture. Nice move. There's Ray Evernham. There's Jack Roush as we settle the championship for 1997 in NASCAR Winston Cup. At the moment, Bobby Labonte leads the race. Jeff Gordon leads the championship.
What's going on? I told these guys that whoever can do a triple axel gets a Canadian Olympic watch from McDonald's.
That was amazing.
There you go.
Great. Now I got all 4. Get your limited edition Canadian Olympic watches from McDonald's for just $7.99 each.
Whether you're the type that prefers to put yourself in the hands of the professionals, or you're the hands-on type that likes to roll up your sleeves, you can count on Bumper to Bumper for all your car and truck needs.
That's all, folks.
It is a sign from above.
Currently, it's a timeless game at present.
It's time for baseball. Wait. Oh, look at that. It's gone.
Monday, the Hockey Hall of Fame opens its doors to welcome NHL legends Mario Lemieux, Islanders dynamo Brian Trottier, and Oilers kingpin Glenn Sather celebrate their triumphs. The Hockey Hall of Fame 1997 induction night. See it and live it on TSN. Monday, it's a special night for hockey fans. First, the Blues battle the Leafs at the Gardens. Then, the Hockey Hall of Fame welcomes the class of '97. It's a legendary evening, Monday on TSN.
Bobby Labonte continues to lead the Napa 500 here at Atlanta Motor Speedway with 253 of the 325 laps completed. And Bobby Labonte has just clinched 5 additional points for leading the most laps today. Coming up quickly on Wally Dahlin back there to put him a lap down. I had a question not too long ago from a viewer who said, how exactly do they award the points? Well, here it is. The winner gets 175. And then positions 2 through 5, they decrease by 5 points each.
That means that 175, 170, 165, 160. Go ahead, Bob.
Now positions 7 through 11, the interval is 4 points.
In other words, 151, 147, 143, like that.
And positions 12 through 43, the rest of the field, there is just a 3-point separation among those positions. And, of course, the bonus points, 5 points for leading a lap and 5 more for leading the most laps. And as we told you, Bobby Labonte has just added 10 points to his total because he has led the most laps. Jeff Gordon is going a second lap down in 13th position.
Now, that puts him in a group we talked about a little while ago. There were 7 cars that were 1 lap down. Now, there are just 5 cars that are 1 lap down. But, Benny, there's a pretty good bunch of them. There's 3, 5, 6 cars that are 2 laps down. So, you know, that puts it in a little different perspective. He could finish, if he has trouble. Well, that last car that's 2 laps down right now is in 18th place, right where he needs to be. Actually, now that Bobby Labonte's led the most laps, that changes that picture a little bit anyway, Bob.
That is right. Gordon's magic numbers now are 20th if Dale Jarrett wins the race, and Jeff could finish as low as 23rd if Mark Martin wins the race. And speaking of Mark, there he is.
And Mark Martin is not only passing Jeff Gordon, but he is gaining on Bobby Labonte right now. We talked about him being about 6 seconds behind after that last pit stop. He mowed it down to about 2 seconds.
Exactly. So he is getting closer and closer and closer to the leader of the race. And Bobby Labonte, I'm sure, said, oh, man, no, not again.
There's Dale Jarrett running back in 3rd spot, 3.5 seconds back of Labonte. Again, we'll show you if points were awarded right now, what the standings would be. Jeff Gordon winning the championship by 31. Mark Martin would finish 3rd, and Burton and Earnhardt staying at 4th and 5th. 6 through 10. Benson would move up 2 positions and be 10th.
And Terry Labonte and Earnhardt would be pretty doggone close. I think it's 509 to 536.
So you can see how important every position is on the racetrack. Doc?
Well, indeed, you know, Dale Earnhardt is in 5th spot in the points, just 19 points in front of Terry Labonte. Now, both he and Labonte are 2 laps down. And since neither one of those guys will probably have a shot at winning today, they'd like to be able to move a spot up in the final point standing. So what they've been told Earnhardt to do is make sure you stay in front of the 5 car. Earnhardt currently running in 17th spot, and Terry Labonte in 18th position right behind him, but just 19 points apart in the final standing.
Well, Ken Schrader is battling to keep the 10th place position in the points so he gets a spot on the stage in New York. But in his most recent pit stop, they thought Schrader's front tire changer, Andy Petrie, had left a lug nut off the right front. And he went around, checked it, told Schrader to go. Where the NASCAR official said you'll need to bring him back because there's no lug nut on there. But Petrie convinced him there was. So they decided to leave Schrader on the racetrack. The problem is Schrader had already committed to pit row. So now he's lost precious track position and position in the points. The big winner in all this could be Johnny Benson, because right now Benson's having a great run, and his Pennzoil team could take home the 10th position in the points, and Benson, who's leaving this team at the end of the season, could make his farewell speech on the big stage in the Big Apple.
Wow, the wheels turn.
Terry Labonte has come in for another pit stop, so that kind of takes the drama away there for the moment of that battle that Doc talked about between Earnhardt and Labonte.
Now, Terry has stopped short of the leaders almost all day long, and I think that he will have to make another pit stop where we think the leaders will only have to make 1 more also, so that's an extra pit stop that Terry is making.
There are only 63 more laps to go. Here's Labonte to the inside of Dick Trickle now. Dick is running in 12th spot, and now he is 2 laps down. Here's the interval board.
You see that Mark Martin is now 2.62 seconds behind Bobby Labonte, so he's lost a half second in the last couple of laps since we just told you a moment ago.
Maybe Bobby's tuned in to us and he said, okay, it's time to go. And it could be that he got in traffic and lost some of that time. It's, you know, a lot of things can play into it.
Here comes Labonte once again. About to start finish line. We'll check and see.
Remember 2.62?
No, he's losing ground.
Jarrett had the fastest lap last time.
And this time, Bobby Labonte was much, much faster. He was 3 miles per hour faster than Dale Jarrett, 2 miles per hour faster than Mark Martin.
Yeah, Jarrett was in traffic, and that certainly affected him, and Mark might have been too. So traffic does affect him.
John Kernan has more on the 24 car of Jeff Gordon.
Well,
Bob, right now the crew is getting ready to bring Jeff Gordon in if needed about 12 laps early. They want to hang on until lap 277. The problem with the car, it is extremely loose. It's been loose since this run started, and they're going to pit the next time by. In fact, a couple of laps ago, Jeff told Ray on the radio, I am so loose, if somebody gets behind me, I'm going to spin out. And now he is waving to the cars behind him, telling them that he is slowing down. He is going to come in for 4 fresh tires. But that would mean 56 laps to go, and I'm not so sure they can make it on this set of tires. Gordon coming on the pit road. He will come to a stop, and they will change all 4 tires. We wouldn't expect him to make any chassis adjustments at all, but just at last, and he may get pitted in. Well, no, he won't, because Morgan Shepherd makes sure he pulls all the way up to the end of his pit stall. So Gordon will have a clear alley when he leaves. Crew now working. Left sides are changed. 17.2, another great pit stop for this crew, but the big question now, can he make it to the end on this set of tires?
Oh, man, that was a big pit stop. And right now, if the caution flag before Bobby Labonte should make a pit stop, if we were to have a caution flag, it would put Jeff Gordon back at about 4 laps behind the leader back in the 22nd, 23rd spot. That was pretty big gamble on their part.
It isn't over yet, folks. Stay with us. Championship is far from decided. Bobby Labonte continues to dominate the race, however, over Mark Martin and Dale Jarrett. We'll be right back.
There are a lot of different names Chrysler Canada vehicles can go by. But for maintenance service, there's only one name you need to know to keep them going. Whether it's on the track, off the track, or on the road. The one name that knows your vehicle best. Chrysler 5-star service. Only at your local Chrysler dealer. Great people, great service.
The Players Racing Team has only one objective, to win. And the only motor oil they use to win is MotoMaster synthetic oil from Canadian Tire. After the most rigorous testing, the Players Racing Team engineers chose MotoMaster synthetic motor oil because you need a well-oiled machine to be a winner. MotoMaster synthetic oil, the ultimate in protection, available at Canadian Tire. Canadian Tire, everyday low prices made better.
Flex Integral. We thought about shaving, so you could think about something else. Braun. Smart thinking.
We welcome you to ESPN Speed World live coverage of the Napa 500, the 1997 finale for the Winston Cup season. From Atlanta Motor Speedway, we're being brought to you by Daytona USA, the ultimate motorsports attraction, by Team Monte Carlo, Chevy, the cars more champions trust. By Kmart, get the Excite NASCAR Select battery at Kmart. NASCAR performance at Kmart, low prices. There is Bobby Labonte, still with about a 3-second lead over Mark Martin.
And Jeff Gordon, there he goes, is in fact 4 laps down to the leader. There's the battle for 2nd and 3rd place. Right now, if the caution flag comes out, the best Jeff Gordon would be 19th, but now he's racing 3 more cars for that position. He's racing Schrader, Labonte, and he's also racing John Andretti for that spot.
But he is still in his championship window. He, however, cannot go the rest of the way without another pit stop.
Well, all these other cars are going to have to stop again as well. Mark Martin's going to have to stop. Dale Jarrett will have to stop. Bobby Labonte will have to stop. But he's cutting it awfully close, especially if something would have happened to the leader, Bobby Labonte. Wow. This is definitely not over.
Martin and Jarrett continued their battle on the racetrack. Here is Dale going to the inside of Mark, trying to take away the 2nd position.
We can see as Dale Jarrett pulled up behind Mark Martin, that just get behind him, got the car a little bit loose. Mark had to chase it up the hill, get out of the gas. As he did that, Dale Jarrett able just to drive by. It's amazing what air will do to these cars. Just a little bit of air, something we can't even see. It's amazing how it'll move around a 3,400-pound stock car.
We've been following and listening on the radio the conversation between Todd Parrott and Dale Jarrett as they try to pull off a championship effort here this afternoon. We've isolated their conversations in what we call the NASCAR Spotlight. Let's take a listen.
If that's the first left front that you put on like that, then there could be a run of treads. It's a little heavy. We haven't seen any consistency out of it like that.
Okay.
You know, it's kind of come and gone.
It was tight. Yeah, that was tight. So it's probably sliding the left front. Minus 4.5 on the leader, DJ. About 2/10 a lap quicker, baby. Go get him.
Todd Parrott playing the cheerleader role, said, go get him, baby. The Goodyear engineer, Ned, I think they had a problem with the left front. And the Goodyear engineer was telling them that they had not seen a consistent problem like they were having. But then Todd said, well, the car was tight. Maybe sliding the front across the racetrack is what caused the problem.
Yeah, I think when he would pick the throttle up coming off the turn, that it would slide the front end, and that perhaps did cause that problem. And I'm sure they made an air pressure adjustment probably to help cure that problem. That was before his last pit stop.
Right.
Jeff Gordon, and it's really the three championship contenders that are right there together on the racetrack. But Jeff Gordon is not really doing all that well at the moment, and there's still quite a possibility that Jeff could lose the championship here in the final 50 laps of this race. He is 4 laps down now, Jeff Gordon is, still could end up not winning the 97 championship, so don't go away. We'll be right back.
As Canada's auto parts store, Canadian Tire offers you even more. Like our Loan a Tool program. If you need an auto tool, just come to our auto parts counter, choose from a selection of specialized tools, and we'll loan you one at no charge. And there's more. You can also bring your brake drums and rotors to any Canadian Tire auto parts counter, and one of our staff will expertly machine them for you. It's convenient, and you know the job will be done right. Canadian Tire, Canada's auto parts store, made better.
We're there to teach you how to do it yourself and be confident in doing it.
We have professional people in every department.
It's really important to teach our customers, to teach them and to coach them through projects.
I like to tell them, look, I've done it. It's not that hard. And often they'll come back and say, you know, you were right.
If there's any problems, we're there to help.
It's a partnership with our customers. It's really important that they understand that we want them to be successful.
Their problems are my problems. If I don't solve their problems, I haven't done my job.
Of courage in the jungles of Zaire.
The king is going home to get his throne.
Now when I get to Africa, we're going to get it on because we don't get along. I want to eat him up.
A man named Mohammed created his own destiny. This is his moment of truth.
Dale Jarrett runs second here in the Napa 500, keeping his championship hopes alive. Mark Martin running third, and Jeff Gordon at the moment is in 14th position, 4 laps down. Dale Jarrett has been named the 4th quarter nominee for the NASCAR True Value Man of the Year Award, which will award $50,000 to be split between the driver and his favorite charity. And there you see some of Dale's charitable efforts that he is a part of. The other contenders this year, Terry Labonte, Bill Elliott, and Kyle Petty. one will be named the True Value Man of the Year at the NASCAR banquet. The leader, Bobby Labonte, is coming in. Jerry?
They wanted to let Bobby stay out to around lap 290, but he radioed 4 laps ago and said the car is very, very loose. They saw what happened when Earnhardt radioed he was loose. He never made it back. So Bobby Labonte comes in for what will be his final pit stop. 1 round of wedge. Should be put in the left rear. 1 round in, and the wrench is out. Right side tires going on. Left side now. Final pit stop for Bobby Labonte. 88, Dale Jarrett also headed down pit road. He'll make what should be his final stop. 18.6 down and away, and DJ on his way down pit road at 45 miles an hour. Todd Parrott very careful to warn Dale Jarrett that they are policing the pit road speeds here significantly today. Clean the windshield, right side tires. They go down slightly on the air pressure on the right side. Remember, they commented the pressure a little higher than what they like to see here in this race. Final pit stop for the man who came into today second in the points, just 77 points behind Jeff Gordon. Left side tires, and now Jarrett stalls the car. He is down and away. The pit stop himself, 19 seconds and a half. Let's go to Bill Weber.
Well, Mark Martin pits. 287 laps now on the board as Martin rolls to a stop. His car has been pushing too tight, so they're going to take 2 rounds out of that car. Right side tires, 4 tires stop. These again are scuffed tires, and it's a 2-tire stop. They decided to go with 2 tires, 9.7 for Mark. Now Jeff Green pits right behind him. They're also going to take 2 tires. They want to try and win this race as well. So Jeff Green with a good stop, and he heads back out. So 2 right side tires for Mark Martin and Jeff Green. Final stops probably for those 2 teams.
Wow. Wow. Now, we have seen some strategy there, and what happens if Mark Martin moves up a couple of spots? Because last time by, we told you that Jeff Gordon was in 14th. He lost 2 positions the last lap. He's now back to 16th.
The drama continues to build.
And Mark Martin's going to have a big lead over Bobby Labonte because of that 2-tire change.
He's got about almost a 6-second lead, 5 3/4 second lead on Labonte. And there's Jeff, oh, I'm sorry, that's Jeremy Mayfield.
Mark Martin had committed himself to come into the pits, and he looked up in the mirror, or either I'm sure the spotter told him, hey, the 88 car's going in. He stayed out there another lap to see what the 88 car did, and then that let them make their own judgment.
And there is the leader, Mark Martin. 5 cars on the lead lap here in the closing stages of this race. Mark has a 5.3-second lead on Bobby Labonte. Then comes Jarrett, Green, and Cope.
Now, how much of a difference will those 2 tires make in speed on the racetrack? 6 seconds is a lot to make up.
Jeff Gordon is in 16th position. Remember now, he still has to make 1 more pit stop. John Kernan?
That was the plan until Ray Evernham looked at the scoreboard and saw what was happening. Jeff had radioed in and asked Ray, do these tires have to go all the way? Ray originally had told me no, they could not make with that set of tires all the way. Ray told Jeff, yes, they're going to have to last the rest of the way unless we get a caution. But the good news for Jeff Gordon fans, remember he was very, very loose on that last set of tires. This set of tires have tightened the car up a lot, but he's going to have to take extra care of them to get them to last over 50 laps to the end.
Well, this race today has really been a dial-in session for most of these teams. They had very little practice because of bad weather here in Atlanta, and so the teams, including Jeff Gordon, have been dialing in their cars all day trying to get them right. And what we have here as the closing laps now approach, we have Jeff Gordon still with a 22-point margin on Mark Martin, who is leading the race, and also a 22-point margin on Dale Jarrett, who is in 3rd place.
You know, racing for interstate means my battery has enough power to run my car, as well as some other race necessities, like this mini fridge, track lighting, my foot massager, a window unit. And for those long races, who could forget the espresso maker? Heck, I even had a big screen put in for my friends.
Interstate batteries, power fast, built to last.
Hey, Bobby, the burrito's done yet?
Go where you wanna go. Find the road you've never Hey folks, check out these all-new Eagle Ultra Grips. Deep V grooves turn away water, slush, and snow for serious traction. Eagle Ultra Grips. Get them. Singers?
Serious freedom. Good year, good
Who
year.
knows snow?
Good year.
Those singers. Snow.
Get in the paint. Check out what's happening around the league. The Raptors and the Grizzlies. Grassroots b-ball and a shootout. NBA in the paint. Mondays on TSN. Beginning Monday, TSN has no limits. Join the adventure and challenge the extreme. Catch the season premiere of No Limits, Monday, right here on TSN. Tonight, the NFL rocks San Diego. Catch an AFC West shootout as the hometown Chargers battle the Raiders. NFL 97, it's live and kicking tonight on TSN.
Trackbacks are brought to you by Quaker State, the quality your car deserves.
What you're looking at right now is a depth gauge. It's how we measure depth on the tread on a Goodyear Eagle racing tire, a brand new sticker tire. Let me show you. See the little needle beneath there? That's how deep the tread is. Folks, that is 3 1/4 30 seconds. That's how much rubber's on these tires when they're brand new. That is less than 1/10 of an inch. You may wonder, well, we're talking about guys who can't make it 60 laps on tires, can't make it 40 laps. Why don't they put more rubber here? Why don't they make the tread, say, a ½ inch deep? Well, the reason is this. Tread or rubber is like insulation in a house. The more you have, the more heat it holds in. So you put more tread on these tires, the heat would stay in the tire, and it would blister like frying an egg on a stove. You put too little tread on the tire, it won't stick to the racetrack. So the Goodyear engineers have to work very, very hard to prescribe the right amount of rubber. And here, after testing at Atlanta Motor Speedway, it was 3 1/4 30 seconds.
Wow. I mean, it really isn't a lot. You're talking about 1/8 of an inch. That is just not a lot.
Mark Martin is the leader of the race. Dale Jarrett is running third in the race. And Jeff Gordon, 3 laps down, is in 16th. If the points were awarded right now, this is how the championship would shake out. And we again told you earlier that if Martin and Jarrett tie for second position, the nod would go to Dale Jarrett because the tiebreaker is number of wins in a season. Dale has won 7 and Mark Martin has won 4 this year. And we are down now to the final 25 laps of the 97 NASCAR Winston Cup season.
And Mark Martin is trying his best. They gambled 2 tires. He had, what, about a 5 or 6 second lead. It's now down to 3 1/2 seconds. Bobby Labonte, that Interstate Batteries Pontiac, is coming. The only question, does he have enough time?
There's the interval back to second place. Bobby Labonte, as they hit the line, will give you the interval. It's 3.21 seconds. And then there is the third place car of Jarrett. And running right behind him is Jeff Gordon. But again, Gordon is 3 laps down, running in 16th.
Bobby Labonte picked up almost 3/10 of a second to own that last lap on Mark Martin. Now, Martin is out there totally by himself. No car close to him in front of him or behind him. Bobby Labonte has 3 cars between he and Mark Martin, and he's about to come up on the one there right now of Kenny Wallace. He disposes of him pretty quickly. There's Mark. You see no one around him. Boy, that's the position he wants to be in.
Now, a little bit less than 2 3/4 seconds. As we take a look at the Napa field summary, Bobby Labonte started back in 21st spot.
And one thing we haven't talked about, this is the last race for the Ford Thunderbird. The make of choice for 1998 by the Ford Motor Company will be the Taurus.
And there we see Jeff Gordon 3 laps down. Has worked his way up to 16th.
Oh! That is the pole setter of the race, Jeff Bodine, who will not pick up the Unocal bonus money, but he did win a $5,000 spending spree from MBNA and MasterCard when he won the Bush Pole on Saturday. It's not bad. Bit of a consolation, huh?
Last time, $5,000 chocolate spree, not bad.
Nice Christmas presents with that. Hey, Bobby Labonte's cut this lead down, guys, to 1.27 seconds. Of course, that little situation there with Martin and the 7 car, Martin had to back off. That cost him a little bit of time.
Indeed, Mark Martin's lead is shrinking. Bobby Labonte, who has been so strong all day, begins to close in once again on one of the guys hoping to walk off with the championship here this afternoon, Mark Martin. We'll be right back.
We made the first battery to start the automobile, the first to handle the moon's sub-zero temperatures. Today, the extreme demands of professional racing. Now, Exide's put all this experience into a battery so advanced, it's the official battery of NASCAR. Introducing the Exide NASCAR Select. It's specially designed and built to combat vibration and extreme temperature. So it's built to survive those grueling trips you'll be taking. The Exide NASCAR Select, making history again.
You know, there's a remarkable new tool right now at Canadian Tire that makes a lot of existing tools seem outdated. I'm talking about RoboGrip pliers from Mastercraft. You see, RoboGrip's special design allows it to self-adjust to most any size job with a simple squeeze of the handles.
That's right. No screws or levers to set. Just squeeze and turn. Plus, it's spring-loaded for one-handed operation, not like these regular pliers.
And it comes in 2 sizes, so it's perfect for most any job. Rounded nuts, pipes, flat surfaces, irregular shaped objects. And its offset head allows for easy access to those tight spots.
And RoboGrip's laminated jaw construction makes it so strong, it comes with a lifetime warranty.
The new self-adjusting Mastercraft RoboGrip is so versatile, you'll find it indispensable in your house, your garage, even in the garden. So don't wait. Get your RoboGrip pliers today. Available exclusively at Canadian Tire.
Monday, it's a special night for hockey fans. First, the Blues battle the Leafs at the Gardens. Then, the Hockey Hall of Fame welcomes the class of '97. It's a legendary evening, Monday on TSN.
The interval between first and second has really closed in now. There you see it. Mark Martin trying to hold off the charge of Bobby Labonte, but Bobby's coming.
Boy, he is coming. He's been gaining about 0.2 of a second a lap, and I suspect his car's been fast all day long, but I'm sure that the fact that he took on 4 tires is giving him some extra speed here right now.
Bobby Labonte won this race last year from the pole position. And he's trying to do it again here this afternoon. The question we have right now is, will Jeff Gordon have to make another pit stop? Will those tires that he put on much before Mark and Dale hold out for the rest of the race? There are 15 laps to go.
And there is a battle for the lead. Mark Martin still in front, but just by 1/10 of a second over Bobby Labonte.
Bobby Labonte, if he could win this, it'd put him on the winner's circle and would mean a lot of money for him and keep the streak alive for Good Racing.
There's Chad Little, the John Deere Pontiac who ran so well. Led some laps earlier on.
He's currently 18th. Bonnie having a big difficulty getting around him here in the corner.
I wouldn't be surprised if Jeff Gordon does not pit, because he can give up 5 or 6 spots right now and still win the championship. He won't win by much, but he can win by 5 or 6 points.
It doesn't matter how much, as long as you win.
Just one. Let him take a good. They probably would only change right side, just to be sure.
Always that chance of maybe scripting a left. That don't happen very often now, but there's always a chance of something going wrong in the pits if you do make a pit stop.
10 races he has won in 1997. He will not win the 11th here at Atlanta today, but still could win the championship. The margin he has over both Martin and Jarrett at the moment, 22 points. And this now is the completion of lap number 313. 12 left to go.
Well, there's Kyle Petty. We haven't said much about him. Kyle's had a great run here today.
He has.
Running in 6th place. He's the first car that is 1 lap down. And the Hot Wheels Pontiac. He's up a good run.
And Bobby Hamilton in 7th spot is working his way up.
Look at Bobby Labonte go on the outside of Mark Martin.
Wow.
Takes the lead.
Into turn 1, Bobby Labonte takes the lead away from Mark Martin. And now Labonte once again is in command of this race.
Hard to imagine Mark Martin being able to catch Bobby Labonte as fast as that Pontiac has been all afternoon.
And Ned, by doing that, of course, it means that Mark Martin loses some points, and that means that now Dale Jarrett, has sole possession of 2nd place in the points with 10 to go.
Yeah, there'll be five points difference in the two.
Johnny Benson trying to go on the outside of Mark Martin. Benson is in 9th spot. Here comes the 3rd place car of Dale Jarrett.
Now, Jarrett finishes 3rd and Martin 2nd. The way they're running right now, Jeff can finish as low as 23rd and still win the title by 1 point. He's currently 16th.
The 23rd spot is 5 laps down. Jeff is 3 laps down. So, as I said, he could stop right now and get a couple of tires and still be okay.
Dale Jarrett has said it a couple of times this week, said it in the press conference the other day. The thing that he looks back on this year as probably the biggest disappointment was at Watkins Glen, a race that we televised, and he was black flagged for smoking. Came in, there was nothing leaking out of the car, so they sent him back out. But it cost him a lot of positions. It cost him enough positions to lose the championship, really, the way things have turned out here today.
He has posted top 3 finishes in the last 5 events here at Atlanta, including a win. The other finishes have been 31st and 11th. He is putting together another outstanding performance here this afternoon, but maybe not enough.
Well, Labonte, our leader, is behind a bunch of traffic. He goes by Musgrave. There's Jimmy Spencer. And Jeff Bodine, our pole sitter, seems to be off the pace here very near the end of the race. Just 7 laps to go.
He is 11 laps down in 32nd spot, Jeff Bodine is.
Bobby Hamilton, we see go by in 7th place. Did we start 41st or 42nd or something?
He started 40th. There's Dale Jarrett, in 3rd. But let us not say that these guys, although they're not going to win the championship, they've had bad seasons, because both Mark and Dale have just had outstanding seasons. Joe Gibbs looking on as Bobby Labonte has the lead, and Ray Evernham looking on as Jeff Gordon has the championship at the moment.
At the moment, but he is slowing down. They're telling him he can lose some position. Take it easy. They've chosen not to make a pit stop, but rather to slow down on the racetrack. Take it easy these last few laps.
Jeff has slowed down, but it's on orders from Ray Evernham that he doesn't need to be as fast now for these last 5 laps.
Now 4 laps. Just 4 laps to the end of the season. But still, Gordon has to be there. If he loses 2 more laps, he could probably still afford to lose 2 laps and still win the championship. But 3 laps, he could lose the championship.
Well, you can see there that he is slowed way down now. He's almost 10 miles an hour slower than the leader of the race.
That's about 2.5 seconds. This last lap, Bobby Labonte ran 187 miles per hour. And here we see the battle for 2nd spot between Mark Martin and Dale Jarrett.
And they're in heavy traffic.
Very heavy.
Bobby Labonte was in that traffic a few laps ago. Mark's car got a little bit loose there.
I think he moved down to try to block the 88 car and see if he could keep him behind him, but he couldn't. He goes in behind him. Mark's car gets so loose, he had to chase it up the hill, and that lets Jarrett just drive by.
So Dale Jarrett goes to 2nd, Martin back to 3rd. And there are now less than 2 laps to go.
The only thing that cost Mark Martin was the position on the racetrack. It didn't cost him anything in points.
Right. Unless he could pass Bobby Labonte and win the race, he wasn't going to finish in second position.
Right.
I think Jeff Gordon, I think this lap there, I believe, has locked up the championship for Jeff Gordon.
One lap to go. I think you're right, Benny. The white flag is out as Bobby Labonte has taken the white flag and he's on the last lap. We're not going to proclaim the championship until it's absolutely locked up, but it looks like Jeff Gordon is going to do it once again. We turn our attention now to Bobby Labonte as he brings his Pontiac through the third and fourth corners. Here he is onto the quad oval. Bobby Labonte wins the Napa 500 at Atlanta Motor Speedway, concluding the 97 season. And Jeff Gordon is going to win his second championship. He's over on the backstretch, and you can see he has significantly reduced his speed, but he will be the champion.
Jeff lost a couple of spots on this last lap. I know Dale Earnhardt was able to get by him, take a spot away.
But nevertheless, Jeff Gordon wins the 1997 NASCAR Winston Cup Championship, his second and the third straight Winston Cup Championship for car owner Rick Hendrick. Wow. Jeff Gordon's 2 championships have been accomplished in 155 starts, a feat topped only by Herb Thomas in 1953 when he won his second championship in 119 races. Down to Bill Weber.
Well, in a crush of people down here all shaking hands with Ray Evernham. Ray, congratulations. You're the 1997 NASCAR Winston Cup champions. Your second title.
Well, thanks. It's a great way to cap off a long and hard season. You know, my congratulations to Jeff Gordon and the Rainbow Warriors, and I want to say hi to Rick and Linda. I know it's been a tough year for him. You know, a lot of emotion. It's nice. You know, certainly not the way I kind of want it all. You know, I hate to run this bad and win a championship, but thank God that we won it. And it's been a long, hard year. And yesterday was a tough day. And we hate to squeak them out like this, but, you know, again, thank God that we did it. You know, we'll have a couple days to think about it now.
With all due respect, you look like it's been a couple of tough, hard days.
Yeah, Bill, I'm pretty competitive. You know, I can't stand getting stomped as bad as we just got beat, but, you know, that's what it takes to win a championship. That's what we got to do.
Well, was there ever any doubt?
Yeah, there was a lot of doubt. You know, there's times I was sure we were going to win it and times we were sure we were going to lose it, you know, but, you know, one of these days we're going to win one race. And
Ray, congratulations.
Thank you. And I know, you know, I don't thank them enough, but I really do appreciate what DuPont and Pepsi and Quaker State and all the people do for us, because I never thank them, and I want to be sure to thank God, because without him we couldn't do this.
Well, Ray Evernham and Jeff Gordon have their 1997 NASCAR Winston Cup Championship to share with the Rainbow Warriors, their sponsors, and their car owner, Rick Hendrick.
I love NASCAR fans. Jeff Gordon has been subject to some boos recently, but I don't see very many now. Everybody's cheering. They recognize the work of a champion, and we'll be back to talk with him right after this. Gordon is...
Hi again, everyone. Brendan Connor in the TSN newsroom. Let's show you some hockey action from this afternoon. Colorado and the Rangers going at it in a matinee, and we'll pick this one up with Peter Forsberg back in action after missing 3 games with the bruised shoulder. Second period tied at 1. Kovalev trying to wrap around off Joe Sakic and in 2-1 Rangers. Avalanche later can't clear. Pat LaFontaine in front. Beats Patrick Waugh. 10th of the year for LaFontaine. 3-1 Rangers after 2. Tim Sweeney has actually scored his second of the game now and has made it 4-1 for the New York Rangers over Colorado. Other hockey news, Mike Keenan will make his home debut as coach of the Canucks today. They face Carolina. Keenan, of course, getting a 3-3 tie with the Canucks in his debut behind the bench that was in Anaheim. And there is word that the ATP, that is the governing body of men's tennis, is going to make some changes, and it may involve dropping the Canadian Open from the schedule. Stay tuned.
Penalties, blown coverages. How can you expect to win the game with turnovers, huh? Look at me when I'm talking to you! Look at me!
You see this ring? This is our ring. Don't you ever let anybody take it from us.
You could win a trip to the Super Bowl. Look inside cases of Bud or call this number for no purchase entry.
Monday, the Hockey Hall of Fame opens its doors to welcome NHL legends Mario Lemieux, Islanders dynamo Brian Trottier, and Oilers kingpin Glenn Sather celebrate their triumphs. The Hockey Hall of Fame 1997 induction night. See it and live it on TSN.
The season is over, and to the victor go the spoils, and Jeff Gordon has come home victorious, not here today in this race, but on the overall championship. Jeff Gordon wins the title by just 14 markers over Dale Jarrett. Jeff Gordon is still on the racetrack, being escorted around this track by a pace car, and he'll soon be pulling into championship victory lane.
Jeff Gordon finished 17th today. 3 laps down to our winner, Bobby Labonte.
He becomes the 13th driver to win 2 championships, but the only one to win 2 in his 20s. He is 26 years, 3 months, and 12 days old.
Hey, don't ruin the hood of that truck. The roof, I mean. But he did.
Here's Jerry Punch.
Jeff Gordon has climbed out of his race car and is celebrating. Jeff, my heavens, you don't care about ruining the roof. Congratulations, champion.
Well, I wasn't planning on doing the victory lane out here. I was going to just say hey to all these fans out here been cheering us on. I tell you, first thing I got to do is thank the Lord. This is an unbelievable day. I mean, I tell you what, I never thought we were going to do it. This certainly wasn't the best of weekends for us and the best of days, but it ended up working out. And
he gets a big hug and kiss from Brooke. Jeff, if you put this in your ear, we got someone special who wants to congratulate you. If you can hear Jeff, we have someone special to congratulate you.
Hey, Jeff, congratulations, buddy.
Is that you, buddy?
Man, I really appreciate it, man. You good medicine here today, but it was a little too close. But thanks for that gold car in the championship.
We got you that gold car, buddy. I've been promising that for you all year long. You got you one now, and tell you what, we wish you all the best. The Lord's with you and with this entire team, and we're so very blessed, so very fortunate. This wasn't the way I wanted to do it today, but you know, it's what we did all year long that really got us here. And thank you for everything you do, Rick. We love you so much.
We love you, buddy, and you're a true champion in all ways.
Thank you, man. I couldn't do it without you.
Rick, we got to ask you, how were you those last few laps? How were you holding up at home watching Jeff hanging on to that 16th or 17th spot?
I thought I was going to have to call Dr. Lemontani and get another prescription over here to make it to the end of this deal. Linda and the kids and I were really enjoying it, but it's really tight.
Well, I tell you what, I thought I was going to need a doctor when I got out of this thing, man. But we pulled it off, and that's what counts.
Well, Jeffrey, Rick at home from congratulating. Let us add our congratulations to you for this championship. Let's talk about the race itself. You made a pit stop, and you came in, lost. You were down 4 laps. Were you concerned at all about possibly the caution coming out and you being back maybe 20th, 25th, or even further?
I was worried all day long, man. You know, we took off and the car felt pretty good, and I felt good about things. And then all of a sudden, you know, some guys started really picking up speed. It's like they adjusted their cars. All of a sudden, everything started coming together for them. And man, they were just, you know, unbelievably fast and started pulling away. So it was kind of difficult for us to, you know, make up any real spots. So, you know, we got in a position where we could ride. You know, this is our backup car. We didn't get to spend, you know, a lot of time with it, and unfortunately, it wasn't as good as we wanted to. But I got to thank everybody at Hendrick Motorsports. I got to thank Ray Evernham and all those Rainbow Warriors, man. They are the ones that got us to this level and got us to this point and won this championship for us. And, hey, we didn't do it in style today, but we did in style all year long. And so many people to thank. I want to thank DuPont Automotive Finishes, Quaker State, Pepsi, and, of course, Chevrolet. It's a pretty awesome pull-off of championship for Chevrolet.
How does this compare to one in 95? A different feeling, the same, even better considering how you won it?
Well, nothing's sweeter than, a championship. And I think the second time around is even sweeter. And we've had one of those career years, and, it just wasn't going to be complete without a championship. And today made it complete. I tell you what, I'm holding back my emotions a lot right now because I'm pretty excited.
Well, no one will ever say this one was easy, Jeffrey. What a weekend and what a way to come home a champion. Congratulations, 1997 Winston Cup champion.
All right, thank you. And I just want to thank MRO, our chapel service. They bring the Lord to us every weekend, and we're gonna repay him for this, for what they've done for me all year long and this entire team, and for what the Lord did for us today. And I don't know what it is yet, but we're going to take care of them, that's for sure.
All right, Jeff Gordon, Brooke Gordon, a very emotional scene here in Victory Lane. And look at this throng of people surrounding him in this car. Absolutely incredible here as he has won it, and now the tears begin to flow. Let's go to Victory Lane where Bill Weber is standing by. Bill?
And Bobby Labonte climbs from his Interstate Batteries ride in Victory Lane for the second consecutive year. He has driven to a win here in Atlanta. He won here a year ago on the old track, and he's the first winner here on the new track. Congratulations. I hear they're going to start a series at this track, and you probably want to be in that.
It's pretty fast. I don't know if I want to do this every day. I'll tell you what, the Interstate Pontiac ran great. This the same car we had at Charlotte and Rockingham, and everybody did a great job. I'd like to thank Goodyear Tires especially. We tire tested down here, and that helped us a lot with the lack of practice. And the Shell Oil, of course, Interstate Batteries, and then we got Ditch Witch, we got Centos, we got Champion, we got Food Line, we got Wix Filters, and we got Easy Care. So we got a group full of people, Jimmy Makar and Joe Gibbs, Norm Miller, and all the guys at Interstate. They just do a great job. And thank goodness we won this race. I mean, it was like, I don't like waiting this long at the end.
And you got a rocket right here.
Yeah, this is a great little race car. I mean, it's just, we built it brand new for Charlotte, and it's led the most laps of probably any of those 3 races of anybody. So, it's just a great race car.
Ah, a little bit of ham here. Okay, congratulations.
Okay, thank you.
That's Bobby Labonte. He's in Victory Lane. We're going back upstairs.
His 5th NASCAR Winston Cup career. There is plenty more to come from Atlanta Motor Speedway. And, of course, we have a half-hour post-race show on ESPN2 coming up at 4:30. But we're here to the bottom of the hour. It turns out to be the 4th closest championship in history. The final margin, just 14 points as Jeff Gordon takes home the title.
Starting your engine is a terrible thing to do. But when you do